G-Red said, heyo.
Oh, what's good? What's good,
Lone
Red?
Syndicate said, what's up, Grin?
Ooh, nothing too much. How was y'all's day? I'm excited to stream. I can't wait to talk to you more about the Borderlands thing, which we'll probably do first. Just TLDR, guys. Probably do a little bit of VR.
Great said, hi there, Mr. Grin. How are you today, buddy?
We'll jump into some story, but I'm doing pretty good, gang. How about you? Ooh, let us just take this, throw this up in the back, mute this, put this go. Good. Where is me? That, boom. Alrighty. Oh boy. What is good, guys? How are you? Did you sleep? Did you sleep good? I hope you did. Oh, I went outside to let my dogs out, and I just got hit with a bunch of smoke. So, good to know that Canada is very similar to, China and its pollution, despite, us trying to do everything right and then having to pay for it. Good. Anyway, feels shitty. Go outside and it's a smoke dust, which also means maybe possibly my brothers and sisters in the States will also get
Lone
wrecked
Syndicate said, I
in a
slept
couple
great
of minutes.
last night.
Ooh, you did sleep good,
Catman
man?
11,234 said, we out here receiving dome in a dome home.
Ooh, we're out here receiving dome. You receiving some dome in a dome home? That's a hella flex. You have a dome home and also receive. Wow. Excessive, I'll say. I feel like I'm watching a person. What was the term? The term is, I feel like I'm watching somebody drowned as I die of thirst or something like that. Oh, man. I know you're making a joke, but it's funnier for me to think it's real. You know what I mean? With a joke, I just say, ha! And if it's real, then I can be like, ah! Well, think about it. Anyways, by the way, I found this channel, which I've always seen pop up whenever there's like Bethesda things called Dantes. If you hear his voice.
That are tied to their particular action skill. They can be equipped with one augment and one capstone.
He has a very, very particular way of talking, outside of him having an accent of like an Aussie. It's just the way his cadence is. That I think anyone who has heard him is like, oh, I've heard about that guy before. Anyways, he did a much better job about like showcasing all the skills. Not all of them, sorry, but he did a good job about like going back and referring to what these might be playing into. And yeah, man, I didn't catch some of them yesterday. Like, I didn't really like think about them in the same way that he did, which is also, that's why I like talking to guys about it, because sometimes people are like, wait,
said he has a very familiar voice to me. IDK where TF from
yeah, I think he just covers video games. So oftentimes you watch a guide or something like that, he's front and center. He's putting the work. And I get it, because like, it's funny because how I seen all these things is, I'm not sure if you guys are similar.
Catman 11,234 said, loved your Doom Eternal video. We gushing.
We did. I was gushing about it. I'm surprised that people connected with that video. That video was a Hail Mary, just being like, probably won't, like, in the first like 24 hours to get like 100 views. I'm like, that's perfectly good enough. And now it has like consecutively every couple seconds, I am still getting a comment of it. Like, I don't know if the views are crazy, but the comments are wild. The amount of people who are also liking Doom and also having so many like feelings about like FPS as a whole and all that stuff. Anyways, but what I was gonna say was, oh, I fucking forgot what I was about to say. We were receiving voices familiar. I don't know what I was about to say. Must have been some lies. I'm just out here lying my ass off. So, does anyone, your parents have like a weird saying like that? My parents have always said that, where like if you forget something, they're like, it must have been a lie, and it's just some Mr. Rogers nonsense. And I'm like, I'm just a fucking chronic liar. I just can't fucking maintain my thought. Anyways, yeah, there was a lot of skills that I didn't notice beforehand of like how much it's weird, because like the best way to learn any of these skill trees, I think, is learning about the one that synergize everything last. So
Gnawing Fetus said about him speaking shit that you didn't notice when you looked over the skill trees.
Yeah, that might have been it. That might have been it. I just feel like that he's gonna go an entirely different route and then circle back, and then yeah. Anyways, but like I was saying, it really helps when you have an understanding of like, this is a really valuable option, and then this is a really valuable option.
Grin, I got some war news
Hit
for
me.
you
There was a
when
live
we get
stream,
to
right?
war.
Yeah. There was a live stream. I can't wait to hear what the characters look like. We also might check out if there was like a character showcase of the new person that's coming down the pipeline. It'll also be fun to check out that. But anyways, what do you call it? That's what I was gonna say. That's actually what I was gonna say. I was gonna say that people who I follow normally about Borderlands, a lot of them are streamers who just like like spend all their time making builds or like do a bunch of weird like let's play versions of like beating Borderlands 3 with only using this manufacturer, that kind of thing. But they're all like predominantly streamers. And I was watching their videos when it first came out because they got early access to it. But then I watched this guy who I know is like not a streamer really, he's just a YouTuber. And the quality differential is insane. like the streamers are basically just like off in the corner, like, hey guys, it's just like me basically. But then this guy, he's like, I'm gonna splice in like relevant-ish gameplay so that people have a better conception of what the skill might be. And I'm just like, dude, I know how hard this is to make. Maybe it's not as hard because I used to make videos like this, and maybe it's not as hard because if you have an editor, then it's just about like doing a voiceover, you know, and like trusting in him to sequence everything, which is a lot easier if you only have one job of the process instead of both. But yeah, his video was great.
Lone Syndicate said, so the Sun Lady that you were interested in are coming in the patch after next, so not next patch, the one after that.
That's a little tough. I'm planning on going for Fox Lady. That's only one interval of recovery. Hopefully we'll be fine. But, yes. Also, is she... What element is she? Anyways. A lot to think about. But anyways, we're gonna talk about Wuthering Waves probably in a short little push here. But, yes. By the way, I think... Unless the other two are insane. So, like, this is the other thing. Before we actually get into the skill trees, I believe it was this one which I was watching. Yeah, which is like an interview. But in this interview, we get to see... we get to see some stuff that looks like different. So, significantly different. In fact, this is some of the best gameplay I've seen. So, this is normal.
said next patch after the next would be at least 2 banner cycles. No.
Oh, maybe, yeah, because I would consider a cycle... like basically one whole patch, if that's what. So I basically have. Well, I guess it depends on if she's at the end or the front, right? Because if I guess yeah. Well, no. So I would basically in a couple of days here. What's her name? Fenrir lady is going to be up. I would then go for her, and then next patch is going to have 2 characters, which would only be like I would consider that to be one cycle. And then hopefully if she's on the tail end of it, then we're good. But if she's beforehand, I would only consider that to be like one like phase of that being able to recharge. You know what I mean? Not a phase, one whole update.
Lone Syndicate said, I'll send you the roadmap of to look at real quick.
Hell yeah. I might wait to get to that because I want to get to this a little bit, and I always feel like jumping around, it just sucks if anyone's like not the biggest fan of, because these are kind of different games, Borderlands and Azizi. Or not Azizi, Wuthering Waves, sorry, I always say Azizi in place of Wuthering Waves. Also, I checked with the Tiger lady, she's great, sorry, I keep kickstarting conversations, I'm like, we'll do later. But anyways, back to this, where was it? There was like a specific clip. Well, first of all, the gameplay this guy's doing, this is the first bit of gameplay where I've seen someone not look like they're kind of struggling while playing. Like, he's getting headshots. This weapon that's like a sniper that's, I think, a returning weapon has been, like, killing people. The gameplay, like, quality looks good. Yeah, I don't know what, like, he's did differently than everybody else, but it looks pretty different. Where is it? There was, like, a moment where they showed... Oh, this was huge. I'd never seen this gameplay before. Okay, so this is a skill trait. Thank you, Alone. That was my Discord, not yours. This is like the customization thing. And the customizations, dude, go hard. I was not expecting this. I thought it'd be like, you know, they tease us a little bit, but if all these are going to be day one...
Said what I mean is that Looper is 2.4, and if Lone means Sun Lady is after next patch, that'd be 2.6.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I thought maybe I'm wrong, but I thought Lone was basically saying, like, after we have our new... After the Fox Lady... We're going to have 2 other characters, and then we're going to have the Shield Lady. But anyways, I was going to say, yeah, these are substantial differences. Like, this one particular to me is going to be awesome. And if they attribute these to, like, what is it called? To, like, boss farming, that's going to be super fire. Also, I like the blind one. The blind one's okay. Looks a little Dark Soulsy. But anyways... but a lot of them look really sick, and there's a decent amount of them. Also, this reminds me of Halo. I don't know why, the Halo, like, skill mask thing. I don't know why he decides to make him a prisoner, but anyways, there's also some footage of the melee guy, which is different, which is cool, which we'll see. This also looks good. It looks fine. I don't love the nose ring, but it seems like that's the thing with him, a through thread, but anyways. Yeah, and then he has, like, kind of, this is what was a little lacking, the actual outfit. He's got, like, a prisoner get up. And then this. Apparently, this guy's backstory is that he was born in, like, 0G, which I guess means his, like, body falls apart or some shit. So he has a bunch of synthetic things.
Said, nice beard.
Solid beard. Also, the color like change is pretty good. This has always been pretty good in Borderlands. I do think it has like a what the fuck is this kind of thing. Like what the hell is this kiss bit? Is this red? Because I don't know. It looks a little like all over the place. But anyways, we also have body. Is that just body meaning like the literal body of that character, or is that like the outfit? No, because he said primary. Yeah, I wonder what body is. So primary was this, secondary is, maybe that's a head and body, maybe is what he clicked on. Yeah, probably. And then we got style. I guess style is like the color layout, and then there's the color choosing. Yeah, I think that's how Borderlands works. Anyways, very neat, very cool. Where was the footage that I wanted to see? Oh, dude, look how OP these knives are. Is this where he uses it in tandem? And I just thought, damn, that's doing some work. He just throws a knife and it like obliterates people. I heard Moxie say that was like a high scaling thing, but I mean, again, my biggest fear with Borderlands is that it's not the best scaling game. Usually, Borderlands 3 was significantly better. But like to me, again, if you're playing a melee build, it makes sense that you eviscerate people because you have to run towards your enemy and then the other characters just shoot them in the head. And they also have like a bunch of variability, like class mods that affect gun damage and skills that affect gun damage and all that stuff. Also, you have range, so like you should be doing significantly less than the guy who's point fucking blank. But oftentimes, same with pet classes. Like if the pet class, like you shouldn't base it on like it's automatic. You should base it on how long does it take the pet to actually kill somebody. Like, it has to run over there, then it has to hit them. And anybody who's even dog shit at aim could just unload enemies, miss half the shots, and they still kill him faster than the pet. This doesn't make any sense. You need to, yeah. So things aren't scaled well. But when I see that knife, which is replacing a grenade, a giant minigun, just fucking eviscerate someone in one shot, that to me is like, okay. And there's skills that like if you get a headshot with the knife, it resends it. I think it's a critical shot. I don't even know if it's a kill. It's just a crit. So if you end up getting like a knife throw in the head, you can just nuke them. So if you fight a boss with a big head and you're just and you just keep throwing them, it's pretty solid. You don't even need to get the headshot. But yeah, this gameplay was one of the bits I seen that I thought, okay, this guy's actually gaming. Like he doesn't feel like he's struggling, which it does feel like the previous videos I've seen of some content creators. It was hard for them to adapt. Either that or he like did everything properly. Oh, also a bit of information I learned was that apparently this game has different scaling than other games. So basically things will level up behind you. So I think what that means is like when you go to a new area, the previous level will then start to like match whatever level you go to. But I think, and this is where I might be wrong, if you stay in that area and you do everything, I don't know if everything else will level you up in the same way. Because otherwise, I don't know why people are pointing it out. Because we had like match level scaling in the previous games. It seemed like this game is different in that sense. Where I think that's what it is. Also, yeah, you throw a knife and it doesn't kill him, but it fucking puts him on his ass. Like that's awesome. Also, again, I love the turret things. When I see the turret gameplay, I'm like, oh shit. And we're about to talk about that right now. Where was the thing I seen, man? Am I blind? I thought it was maybe it was at the very beginning. Where are you? Oh, so there's a mini map. So people were bitching about this. They've already put in a tiny little map. It doesn't have like legendaries or quest markers, but I could see them adding that in the future. But at least right now, day one, you do have access to this little map thing. There we go.
Ignoring Fetus said level up behind you. ID take that to mean everything will be a few LVLS lower than you, but scale to you.
Well, see, so that's what weirds me out, Nog. So, like, in the previous games, we had, like, level scaling. So, like, enemies would just automatically beat you.
Said optional combat radar.
Yeah, that's what it was, yeah. But, yeah, it's weird because people were saying that, like, that's always been a thing in the game. So, the way that people were just talking about it, it made it sound like until you go to the next, like, area, the next big open world set piece, everyone will stay the same. But as soon as you go to the next area, it will, like, level match whatever's behind you. I think. That's the way it kind of made it sound to me. But I don't think there's going to be those instances where you, like, go to a special place and then you do a thing. Or then enemies are, like 10 times over leveled from you, I don't think. Maybe, but I'm pretty sure that's not what they were trying to plan out. But the thing that surprised the shit out of me, which I don't feel like most people are talking about, which is apparently the way the story is going to work in this game is basically you can go and kind of detonate the story in many different ways. So the story is not linear, it seems. I'm sure it can be, but the way they made it sound was like you could go over here to the map, do this thing, and then get like a key maybe, or you go over here, do this other thing, and you also circle back around there. Kind of weird things made it seem like the story was less. Also, he even, I think, criticized or like asks Randy this question of like, people really disliked the story in the previous game. What are you planning on doing for them? And the basic takeaway that he had was he was said that, like, and it's funny because I don't know if this is the best takeaway to have, but it was a good takeaway, which was there was so much yapping in the previous games where it just felt like there was a barrage of things that were talked at you about. And he said he gave a lot of freedom to other storytellers on the team, like other people who were making side quests and main quests, to where it felt like a little heavy. I feel like that's not addressing the alien in the room, or the elephant in the room, sorry, of like, I didn't really, it's not just that like everything was a fart joke or everything was a dick joke and that there was no like stakes to anything. It was just that the main thing that you were selling was like assholes screaming at you for 20 seconds in the most uncharming way possible. And it's funny because I know how they got to this thing, which is that, oh, that's Handsome Jack. No, Handsome Jack is all about execution. Like, it's an idea that only works if you have fucking precise execution. And Handsome Jack was so fucking good at like shitting on you, and you loved him for it because he was honest and weird and true to his character all the time. And the Calypso twins made no fucking sense. They contradicted themselves. They were also like pointlessly evil. There was also brilliant moments with Jack where like you've seen a shred of humanity in him, where he starts like you realize that like his daughter ended up like fucking killing the woman he loved, and then he started getting like way too protective, but he still loves his daughter, but he's still like trying to make sure that more people don't die from her, and then it mutates into this fucking weird nonsense. Anyways, there's so much depth within that character. What the fuck kind of depth exists within the Calypso twins? None. They could have done that. Anyways, I could rant about this all day. Anyways, but to me, that's at least some takeaway, where in this game, I think we can expect to not have so much gibberish constantly being spouted at us. And two, it seemed like the story was more instead of it being like them trying to build up these two villains, it's just going to be kind of like you go everywhere you want, you progress in different ways, and you move forward. And I think that's, we need a recovery period. Even if I do agree that like Borderlands 2 has fantastic storytelling, and I would love to get back to that, I'm fine with them just saying, we're just going to take a step back and try not to do too much story, okay? We're just going to try to deliver on all these other things, okay? And maybe just not try to alienate people with our story, which is a pretty good low bar to follow. And dude, okay, one more thing. I'm sorry, we will get to all the other stuff. But one more thing about this game. People aren't like breaking down this enough, I don't think. But there's the manufacturing system, right? Which just leaves you like endless, inconceivable variation on your weapons. That's already one thing. Apparently, there's even more craziness built into the ordnance system. So not only are there like weapon manufacturers, but ordnance apparently don't follow the same like manufacturer playbook that the other weapons do. I'm not sure if like the heavy guns do, but surely the grenades and surely the throwing knives and whatever else the ordnance they kind of have doesn't follow the same convention. It seems like Moxie was giving an example in one of his videos I watched, where basically he was saying that the ordnance damage from a grenade, you could have like a grenade from that's like sponsored by TDOR, or you could have a throwing knife that's sponsored by Jacobs. And if that throwing knife, if you throw it into an enemy and it ricochets, now that's getting pretty substantial. And we have a lot of skills that already are ricochet skills. So imagine you throw this high percussive damage dealing knife that ricochets and kills everyone in one shot because it's already doing a shit ton of damage. It's amazing. But then there's also other things that are like make more sense of like how do we get to the hex grenade or the maddening tracker without getting to the maddening tracker hex grenade? And it's basically like, oh, okay, well, you need Torgue because the Torgue has like 3 perks that it can drop on. One is increased splash damage. The other is increased radiation, or sorry, increased damage per grenade or something like that. And then there's like the TDOR, which has higher grenade damage or splits off into 2 grenades.
Lone Syndicate said Rafa going
like
shing, shing, shing.
Yeah. This gameplay is good. But before we get into that, we have one last little thing, which is this. So this is the gameplay they released about the warrior guy, and I do think I don't know, man. He has his one weapon, but he has this and then this. I think this is basically just a complicated way of saying you have your ult, and then whenever you you can press your ult and do it. That's also something I was referring to with Rafa. I thought he had like 3 charges they could easily just burn out, and they started recovering immediately. Rafa still has like a window of use, so you activate like, I'm ready to use my 3 charges on my one gun. And then you have like 15 seconds every time you shoot. It takes a chunk of the duration about, but if you wait a long time, then it will just eat up that shot. But the way you can get around this is just by hold charging, which will consume as much, like significantly more shots of your thing, and then all of them if you hold it down long enough. So that started to make more sense.
McFlufferkin
for like the
said,
chain lightning,
I guess people haven't been
like
making as big a deal out of the manufacturer stuff, because technically that's been a thing since the first game. We just now have more clear indication each part make.
Well, no. So I think that's the biggest misconception about the game. Like, I think that's why is because like people's flags aren't being detonated. But like we've never had this in any other video Borderlands, and to the extent of like the scale of it. So like yes, we've had like a Hyperion thing that like affects like stability the longer you shoot, so you get more accurate or less spread the longer you shoot. But this game has something like like what do you call it? Can you imagine having a Torg Unkempt Herald with like a TDR ability where you can throw it into the air and now it's heat-seeking and shooting everybody. So this is something that Moxie pointed out, the YouTuber I watch that covers a lot of Borderlands. He mentioned how like, well, won't this make it so that like legendaries start to lose their like manufacturer identity? Or what if there is like an Unkempt Herald which already splits into 4 shots that now has Ricochet and is a TDR? Like, it's just going to be madness, like crazy madness. And apparently this is something I'm hopeful for. But Randy Pitchford and everyone had basically said fuck balance, which I would always rather have. I would always rather have like there's so many fun ways to just break apart this world than there's 2 options at endgame. They all have to do with crit. They all have to do with times 10ing your damage or bullets.
Said, yeah, that's the new aspect of it, alongside clearly stating what each part comes from.
Yeah.
Most of that existed before, aside from exclusive brand gimmicks. Now those gimmicks are shared.
Yeah, I just think like the scale is like hard to comprehend. Like unless you think about it like that, where it's like I could have an unkempt. I could have how many trackers can you have in the world of TDRs? 4 usually, 3 or 4. You have 4 or 3 unkempt heralds flying around. They're doing like times 4 damage, and they ricochet, and they shoot 4 times at a base. And apparently, like I think this is what a lot of the QAs I was watching. They were like talking to devs. They were trying to find if like, did you put the brakes on anything? And it doesn't seem like they did, which to me is really fucking cool. But also, I don't know, I'm more into it because I would just, again, I hope we can have a game where there's so many things that are viable. And with the difficulty scaling, I wonder, because the game people, everyone's takeaway from like playing these things was that just how much harder it was than other expansions or other games in the franchise. So yes, anyways... moving on.
Red said, will you be getting BL4 day 1?
Absolutely.
If so, are you planning to just solo it on stream?
No.
Or have us join you in co-op?
I do whatever you guys...
If the latter, I'll probably buy day 1
Yeah, it's
too.
always that.
McFluffican said, are there TDR pistols? Because that's one thing that would potentially limit it. Certain brands might not make parts for all gun types.
I don't know about that. All I know is that it seems like there are multiple parts per thing. So again, it's kind of like, oh my god, that like TDR that is flying around, that's crazy, right? Well, it is, unless you think about the fact that all of these weapons can drop from like 5 manufacturers, and all of those manufacturers seem to have at least 3 to 4 things that it can be in its place. So TDR doesn't just have splits on usage. It doesn't just have like flying or whatever it could be, like the homing thing. It has like weirder ones, which is like increases splash damage, which is not bad. And I also don't know if they can get multiple of one part. So I don't know if you can get like a TDR, or if it always has to be one TDR and that's it. And then everything else comes like by itself. I don't know. But I do know that like each manufacturer seems to have multiple different variants. And the only thing that I seen that was special was the grenades. So grenades are different in the sense that they have something called an augment, same as your class or your skill tree. So grenades have like a different skill thing in general. Instead of it being like a baseline, a bonus, it seems like it changes the way that grenade functions in general. I don't have the specifics of that. I just heard that Moxie pointed that out and said, yeah, this is something weird about grenades, is that it has a unique modifier on it like that. Instead of just being like bonus, it has an augment bonus, which I think just changes the way the grenade works, which kind of makes sense for grenades. I could see that making sense for throwing knives as well. I could see that making less sense for like giant miniguns and shit, because it's kind of set in stone for what it's probably going to be. But yeah, I was gonna say for me, this is how we do anything that's co-op in games. The pretext is always I leave my game open to anyone who wants to join. If no one joins, it's totally okay. But I will be going at my own speed, because I tend to like, as much as I shit on Borderlands story, I tend to like it. I just don't like the main story of Borderlands 3. So I'll probably like slow down. I'll probably try to listen. If someone's like shooting in the middle of dialogue, I'd probably be like, can we stop shooting so much? Things like that. So I'll be going at my own pace, but if anyone does want to join, they can. But if everyone's like, I want to kind of just rip around and grind shit, then you can do that as well. But my it's always open, basically. And there's level scaling, so you'll always be able to like manage, even if we get like level 20 in and you're like, oh, I just got it yesterday, you can still jump in and there's level scaling. It still might be a little shitty because you have nothing when you're level 1, but you'll eventually get something probably within an hour that's probably keeping your head above water. Anyways, but ladies and gentlemen, last time we checked out the arc tree, the arc knife tree, the melee tree, which was fantastic. Lots of fun stuff there. This spinny thing, I think, is less hyped than I've seen. I've seen a little bit of a showcase of what it does when you use the singularity sweep, and it looked less spicy. It sounds great, doesn't look great, kind of thing. But the skill tree around it seemed great. Anyways, we also talked about this, which I feel like is actually not as it is TDR driven. It's also ordinate driven. So this skill tree, to me, and I think everyone else, if you're going to want to understand Rafa, if I could suggest anything to you, it's probably, especially when like day 1 comes out, because I imagine like we're going to forget about all the skills, read his melee tree and read his like arm cannon tree, and then read his like pull out your blaster and shoot tree. Because the blaster tends to be the thing that bleeds into both of these other variants. So if you're going to do melee, there's things in the blaster skill tree that gives you like things that he is lacking, like cooldown reduction or lifesteal or a weird like other stacking abilities that would be beneficial to the melee skill tree. But then the gunner skill tree has a shit ton that would help immensely in this tree. But the gunner tree, to me, is the one that I'm the most excited for, and I cannot wait to see it. And the question I wonder is, should we just listen to this play out, or should I just ramble at it? Because I feel like this might be helpful, because he does say stuff that is kind of helpful in terms of like referencing other skills. So we might just do that. So less reading on my hand, which is great because I often misread things, so it probably works out.
The first passive is CTR, and it gives Rafa a cool 25% increased gun damage. This boost affects the cannons, unsurprisingly, but also your weapons, so...
Also, he does the math for me. 25% gun damage, solid, crispy.
On any build.
So this is maybe we should pull it back just a little bit, because I do think he talks about the gun.
Damage. We have one about grenades. Yeah. Damage over 20 minutes into this video. I better speed it up. So next is the Peacebreaker Cannons path. These are kinetic auto-firing shoulder-mounted turrets, at least for now. The first passive is CTR, and it gives Rafa a cool 25%.
Basically, he summons 2 giant cannons on both of his shoulders. It's an active skill. It does kinetic damage, but the whole point of his skill tree is that eventually it changes, just like your melee. And yeah.
Increase gun damage. This boost affects the cannons, unsurprisingly, but also your weapons, so it's good on any build. Daft Hands is next, and for a 5-point investment, it increases your fire rate by 20%.
Both of these are awesome. Increased gun damage, and what I think is probably more valuable, increased fire rate. And that makes a lot more sense when we start mutating these 2 guns into like some ravenous nonsense. Okay.
For both,
but I think there is a critique there where you'll always probably have your Peacekeeper cannons, and then the thing that I think is added on top of them. I don't think it changes them outright.
And his cannons, so the first 2 passives work together to make you deadlier in general. The next is Shield Burst. It buffs Rafa's Overdrive trait. While Overdrive is active, Rafa gets 55% increased shield recharge.
This one doesn't make sense because he has other skills that just give him shield on like killing things, which
great. And
I feel it's better.
60% improved shield regen delay with a 5-point investment. It's your standard press your action skill to be more tanky passive. Juega makes it so crits restore action skill duration.
This one, dude, is, I think, kind of broken. And listen to what he says, which I never even thought about this. This is why it helps watching a bunch of people's perspective about things.
15% restored per crit, and that triggers once every 4 seconds. So yes, theoretically, you can keep the action skill going if you keep critting, because 4 seconds is shorter than the 15% restored.
I never thought about that, because I would have seen this and thought, it's 4-second cooldown, what a waste. But no, the 15 max stacks 15% gain would outpace the 4-second duration timer. Now, to me, this makes a lot of sense. If you just get an SMG, you walk up to some person, you just mag dump them in the head. This is gonna detonate, and there's other things that function off of that. We'll see. We'll get to
the first augment is called Instinto, and grants his Peacebreaker cannons an increased crit chance, wouldn't you know it. Talk about combos. Also, pressing F while active causes them to double their crit chance and gain extra crit damage. This causes the action skill duration.
See, I don't know this one, because I feel like this cannibalizes, because don't when we shoot, we're only getting cooldown, which wouldn't come into effect until we have nothing, so it doesn't actually synergize, it doesn't sound like.
To drain faster though. but to offset that, killing an enemy in general causes Rafa to regain action skill duration.
That's kind of neat. But I always hate ones like this because you have to kill an enemy, and sometimes you're like, well, I don't need more. Like, if I'm killing the enemies, there's going to be less enemies around. I'm probably going to... I don't mind that my action skill is going to go away. But when I'm struggling to kill one enemy, I need to stay alive until it dies. You know?
We get duration, not cooldown.
We get duration, not cooldown. Oh, is that what it said? Duration? Oh, that works perfectly. Okay, so it does. I'm sorry, I misunderstood that. Okay, action skill duration. Okay, that works great. Okay, that does stack then. Okay, so that makes sense why it's feeding into that. Okay.
An extra
and you get a little bit more on top of just a kill.
Okay.
The
action skill duration to drain faster though.
Right,
but to offset that, killing an enemy in general causes Rafa to regain action skill duration.
Also, that can be used by anybody. You can go eat dinner raid.
While also causing it to drain faster, so every time you kill, you get increased duration, but eventually the skill duration drain will be so fast, the skill will end regardless.
I'm about to say, it does drain fast. It doesn't seem like it's up for a long time.
But this is a nice augment to push the damage and duration, especially on crit builds.
Yeah, and honestly, these two skills, yeah, it actually works out perfectly, because when you're running around killing things, you're going to be getting chunks of your duration back, which is great. But whenever you're fighting a boss, where you can like shoot him a bunch of times in the head, that will basically allow your turrets to stay up and keep focusing that singular enemy. So it's good for ad control as well as the other thing. And you just get damage on top of this.
Restores a portion of max shield when you activate an action skill. If they're full, gain overshield instead.
See, this one's weird to me. Whenever Rafa activates an action skill, restores a maximum shield capacity if this and this and this. I don't know, because Rafa has some things where like you activate your skill, and I wonder if you activate like there's other like augments that he'll get for his thing where like you'll activate missile launchers or something like that. I wonder if that counts as well as like a skill activation. Otherwise, I don't know why this is on this skill one. Because this one, I mean, you're only getting like 15 shield whenever you, probably a little more than 50 shield, sorry. Whenever you pop your alt, so you activate your ult, you get a bunch of shield, you stay alive.
45% with 3 points invested. Great. Some tank. Boring,
yeah,
but very useful. The
next
next augment is Bullet Buddy Deluxe.
This is huge. This is why I think Rafa is going to be like one of the best characters, is because not only does his melee tree make him like strong by himself, but this one,
while the cannons are active, Rafa and his allies regenerate ammo. Don't sleep on the allies part. Rafa's cannons deal bonus fire damage based on how full his gun is, and his turret shoots exploding bullets when the...
Gnawing Fetus said it's a tier 1 skill, so probably meant for dips into the tree and not for the actual tree.
Yeah, but again, this is one of the, like, again, I remember when I seen the Siren skill tree, and her, like, 2 augments at the beginning always felt really undercooked, but this is such a good skill, man. Not only are you giving your allies regeneration, you're also changing your cannons to now be an element application, which is amazing, and he has various skills in this thing that will, like, benefit application of elements on enemies, but they're also turning it into splash damage. So you're giving your enemy, your allies, regenerating ammo. You're now getting explosive AoE shots, and I believe there's another thing here. Yeah, and now you're also giving a special ability where you can activate your cannons, and they no longer basically they no longer take damage, so they're constantly outputting splash damage. But if your magazine, like your gun's magazine, is full, then you're going to be able to benefit that. And there's a lot of things within this skill tree that play into like a shotgunner playstyle. He mentioned this beforehand, like a little bit later, where like there's another skill tree where it has it where like, every single time your first initial shot is amped, but then also every single time you shoot and reload, you get stacks of cooldown. So it kind of plays in this like shotgun melee thing, which you're about to see, and it plays out at the very end here in a big way. It was just
fire damage based on how full his gun is, and his turret shoots exploding bullets when the magazine...
Oh, I didn't even think about that. So that's even more interesting. So if you have a giant LMG, because it's the more you get more fire damage, the bigger the more full your gun is. I wonder if that counts if you have like a shotgun with one shot. Probably not. If you have a giant LMG and you're holding it out and you're not shooting, I wonder if your cannons are actually going to be able to output enough to warrant you not shooting.
It keeps going. Pressing F while cannons are active causes Rafa's shots to consume no ammo, but causes his action skill duration to drain faster, so that means you get the constant exploding bullets. Now, this skill works well with guns that have a huge magazine, letting you pile on explosive fire damage. However, it also works with guns that only have one shot
both.
or close to one shot, as you'll almost always be at full magazine that way. Pressing F might not make you consume ammo, but tuning your loadout for this augment...
Also, wait, what the duration 8 seconds? I wonder what that is. That's gotta be when you press F.
Gnawing Fetus said it's probably percent based. So if at 9/10 would be the same as 9100ths.
Yeah, probably. That makes sense. I was gonna say, but like if you hit F and you activate your thing and your salvo, and that lasts 8 seconds, that's pretty goddamn good.
Would be the
Yeah, up to
better
20% it
approach.
says.
A very fun augment overall. I love the ones that have you building around.
Yeah, I love that.
Sia, or CYA, I think it's Sia, makes it so killing an enemy restores shields based on Rafa's maximum health
A
capacity.
little weird that it's HP, so you have to have a bunch of HP to get chunks of your shield back.
20% at
It's a
5
1
points.
point in that
So
would be
El
fine.
Corazon, reducing your max health to give you
McFlufferkin
shields.
said the 8-second duration is for the second effect, but it also drains his action skill faster during the duration.
Yeah. I was wondering if that's what I think.
Does
Yeah,
not combo
yeah.
raise.
I think that
What
makes
you
sense.
need is a high health capacity. Resiliencia buffs your overdrive trait, an increase of 40% damage reduction while overdrive is active, therefore during your action skill and 12 seconds after.
Boring, but
40%
good.
is massive, so ways to increase action skill duration in the last tree will work in this one.
Yeah.
Maestro gives Rafa 20% more skill damage for a 3-point investment.
Good deal.
And this is just a no-brainer.
Yeah, that's a good deal.
Condenser, for 1 point, whenever Rafa's shield breaks after fully recharging, you drop a free grenade of the type you have equipped. This passive is strong, but goes against the tanking up passives we've just seen. 40% resistance, for example, includes damage to shields. Keep that in mind.
McFlufferkin
and
said
look
this
out for
seems like a solid support gunner tree, but I think I prefer going melee with a dip into the lance tree to support
It's
it.
funny because I feel like the opposite. I feel like I want to go with the this tree coupled with a dip into the land skill tree to get all the other weird synergies that he'll mention.
shield mod that reduces its capacity. There are many that don't give you a shield and instead boost your health capacity.
I was going to say, but for this one, it's really interesting to me because we have skills that basically, whenever we get a kill, we get a percentage of our health back. So that's kind of good. I do think there's some other things that play more into that. But there's also other things I think that just give you chunks of shield
Gnawing
back.
Fetus said, I wonder if overshields are considered shields for that.
Ooh, that's a good way. Oh, yeah. Is that what it qualifies that as? Yeah, that'd be a bit of a bust. But anyways, it's one of those things where like I want to go down the grenades tree in the other skill tree thing. So even dipping this far down this one would be pretty good if I did want to go with the weird grenade melee build over there. And I'm getting a lot of benefits, I think, from doing that with like the... Oh, I guess... No, you'd have to use the melee radar thing, yeah, so I would be able to use the guns. So I guess it's less crazy. Anyways.
The next passive goes against this one too. El Valiente. Rafa deals increased damage from all sources. The fuller Rafa's shields are, the greater the bonus. While Rafa's shields are at a maximum, double the bonus. 30% with 3 points. This also seems like a great skill for only 3 points.
It just doesn't synergize as much.
Now we have the tree branches.
All right, here we go. This is where shit starts getting crazy. Again, this is where Rafa to me is like the best that we've seen. Well, we only see 2, but like to me, it's. I hope the other characters are like this, where they seem less dependent on one character and like all these things can play into itself. Anyways,
Hell in a Shell augments your cannons. Pressing F while they're active causes them to fire 2 large firebombs that deal fire damage to a large area. Killing enemies reduces this skill's cooldown.
that's pretty huge.
Simple, a big fiery explosion that deals a lot of damage. Thankfully, activating them doesn't reduce the cooldown of the cannons themselves.
But is this as good as the regeneration, splash damage, and scales up based on like the amount of mag size you have? I don't think so. So I don't think that unless it's just like super scaling or it's like hits really, really hard, I don't know. I don't think that's as good as the consistent splash damage of everywhere.
Asymmetric warfare.
Gnawing Fetus
buffs
said,
all-
if overshields require full shields, that skill is borked on him.
Yeah.
He has Aston of ways to generate overshields.
Yeah. If it works on overshield, it's gonna be spicy.
All projectiles not fired from your gun by 40.
Let's hear this again.
Asymmetric warfare buffs all projectiles not fired from your gun by 45% with a 5-point
45%.
investment. These include thrown weapons, action skill weapons, grenades, etc. Basically everything that's not coming directly out of your barrel.
I
This-
wonder if TDORs count. Because they're technically your gun, but they're also technically not your gun anymore when you throw it. I don't think, like, in every game, they've always were determined to be something kind of else when you throw them. They never scaled off of, like, gun damage. Usually they scaled off, like, grenade damage or some other weird variant. There's a couple that I think did scale off gun damage. But anyways, that's to me crazy. So like your projectile of any kind deals like massive more damage now. This is your gunners. This is your grenades, I believe. This is your I'm not sure your ordnance would count exactly, but There's a lot of stuff.
It has
Your
obvious
knife.
synergy with your cannons, but also works with the corrosive projectiles we saw in the last tree, or the lance action skill. Overall, a great passive if you use something other than your gun. Next
Also,
down
I wonder. I feel like that would just work with your with the grenade build that he also has in his other tree. But
is Errant Spark. All these indirect projectiles deal bonus fire damage. If it already deals fire damage, double the bonus
again, I
damage.
feel like it plays so much better with the previous thing. Like this is the first time where I've wanted an
Nine
augment at the
Fetus
beginning,
said I'd imagine
even
the
at the
bullets
end.
wouldn't work, but the boom would on Tedior.
Ooh, the boom, mate. Yeah.
He said if it doesn't come from Ergun.
Yeah, your gun. Yeah. The explosion, maybe. Yeah. But regardless, there's still grenades. There's still the cannons that you're about to have, and it gets crazy because this basically starts handling like ricochets.
40% with a 5-point investment is 80% if the damage is already fire, so you do want fire-based grenades, throwing knives, and STRM gliders, because 80%, yeah, a lot.
80% is
Even bigger when
insane.
you add lifesteal into the mix with Ardid.
This is where it gets nuts. This is where you become like an unkillable god. I don't know if this is going to be like the biggest build damage one, although 80%, if you're all doing... The only thing that's a restriction on this is just you're getting the right gear. You're getting Fire Legion's gear. But the fact that this one, Rafa indirect hits, all the projectiles, his gunners, his grenades, his everything, now just gets flat 50% lifesteal is insane. It's crazy.
Indirect projectiles gain lifesteal 50%, so 50% of the damage they do, you'll be regenerating. Enemies tend to have a lot more HP than you, and you deal a lot more damage than you'll ever be able to take. So this is absolutely keeping you functionally immortal from anything that isn't outright one tapping.
Yeah, that would
you.
work.
This is one of those passives that's sneaky good. If
When I
you
said,
do.
I was thinking about like, can you use this on the melee skill tree to like infinitely get health and run around? But you have to. I don't think it would work. You have to have indirect projectiles, which I don't think. Well, maybe with the grenades.
Gnawing Fetus said that's getting nerfed down to like 25% first patch.
Don't say that. Don't say. Honestly, if it was 10%, given you, because you'll see. But like if we have amplified fire rate, and we have higher damage, and we have this one, which is just making them do like more splash damage, and all of that, I think splash damage would also be considered indirect, well, maybe not indirect projectile damage, maybe indirect splash damage. But anyways, even if we just get those two and the capstone, which we're about to see, I still feel like you'd be just constantly all the way to the top. And with this instance, it's actually better to not build him for HP because he has a couple like shield ones. But I think it actually makes much more sense to do what he said, which is get like a shield that has really, really low capacity. And there are shields he mentions that are like all HP based, so they give you a ton of HP and less shield. So if you have a thing that gives you a ton of HP and less shield, but has a really high like recharge rate, then theoretically that can like come back really fast and drop a grenade when you want, as well as give you a ton of lifesteal. And yeah.
Around it, especially if you want to pick up that passive that drops a grenade when you lose your shield, as that grenade will get bonus
Nine
damage from
Fetus
Errant
said
Spark.
5% would be fire still. At 10% for a 5 PT skill is crazy.
Yeah, 50% is insane. That's some crazy shit.
And a lifesteal for you with this passive. Rolling Stone is next and grants Rafa a 35% chance with a 5-point investment to bounce shots off himself while moving.
That could be kind of dope. It's such a small percentage chance for that to happen. So like if a boss sends like a nuke at you and you slide and you just bounce it right back at him, that'd be a pretty crazy way to kill him, but it's still.
Chance is doubled while sliding, so this passive encourages you to keep moving and be very active to become very tanky.
Kind of a jumper, not a
40%
slider
reduction
in
damage
Borderlands.
taken, you're going to be extremely hard to take down. The next passive, Proprietary Incinerary, changes your melee attack.
This is awesome. We got a melee augment. Love them.
Melee to lob a STRM glider at an enemy. Once it reaches its targets, it explodes and deals fire damage based on the amount of ammo in Rafa's gun when he threw it.
Also, sorry, pause. I'm so sorry. To me, this is also something that's really cool where, like, this is something the other skill trees don't have, which worries me that the cannons may not be that spicy. But, like, theoretically, when you use a lot of these abilities, you were just stopped from dealing damage with your guns. So this is one of the skill trees where you can not only just get, basically a bonus damage, bonus ammo recovery, bonus splash damage, bonus lifesteal now.
And
you can still shoot.
Exosuit has a TDO feeling skill, go figure. It has a cooldown but is very powerful considering that this branch is
Gnawing
all about
Fetus said
buffing projectiles,
35%,
not
about
fire.
1 in 3, or 70% when sliding, which is damn near immortal.
Oh, okay. I thought it was only going to be like a handful of points, not that much. Well, shit. Well, shit. I was gonna say this one's cool. I didn't. If you pay attention to what the last bit would say, which I didn't read when I first got it, which was the throwing knife scales off of how much your magazine is in your weapon. So if you have this augment available, you switch to like a giant mag LMG. I don't know if LMGs I think are going to be ordnance, so maybe just like an assault rifle with a ton of bullets, and then you whip this knife, and it just does a shit ton of fire splash damage. Also, it's AoE based too, which is sick. The only thing that sucks is it is on a 16-second cooldown. I always hate that. I always wish there was a way of like cutting down the cooldown so much. It's only a one investment skill, so you can't even like invest in it to get cooldown less.
Anyways, from your gun, this is one of them. Here's another, the capstone.
This is the capstone, baby.
Double auto shot, which turn the Peacebreaker cannons into shotguns that deal increased damage and have increased pellet count.
Okay, so this one does change the actual cannons themselves. Sometimes they specify that it changes, like it adds to like the other weapon that I think it has.
Additionally, the turrets gain a chance to ricochet off targets. Crits always ricocheting.
That's crazy. So again, we have a thing up there, I think in the beginning of the skill where like there's some sort of bonus for crit, I think. Also in the other skill tree, we've seen one that where like the more times you shoot at something, the more chances you have to increase the chance that you crit. So that will increase ricochet.
9 Fetus said class mods can put points into 1 point
Oh,
skills.
yeah, that's true too. I didn't even think about that. Yeah. There's all those weird like things. But I was gonna say, yeah, to me this is awesome. It changes them into giant shotguns, which again, in my head right now, I have a shotgun build planned out with him, with this and the other skill tree, because yeah, you can just get point blank. They're ricocheting, you're healing, your life stealing a ton, and every single time you reload your weapon, you're shaving off tons of cooldown off of yourself, up to like a crazy amount, and you're like, yeah, it just all, and you're doing a ton of splash damage. The only thing it doesn't have is grenades, which is a little shitty, but it does seem just like a fun blender build.
This is very Jacobs. Not much to say here. This is for you if you want to straight up increase the Peacebreaker cannon's damage output by a large margin.
Yeah, and I wonder if the ricochets also have splash damage. So we have that one skill that turns our cannons into splash damage. I wonder if the ricochet is also considered splash damage.
It's better up close, so your movement damage mitigation pays off.
Gnawing Fetus said, damn, he sounds fun.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see the Malawan Corpo.
Yeah, I know. I'm curious to see what she is too. To me, I also want to see the Brute. The Brute to me, I have a feeling that the Malawan girl is probably going to be very based around ordnance a little bit, probably, and just a shit ton of elements, which maybe is like why, ordnance and elements kind of maybe go hand in hand. But I'm curious to see what the melee guy is, because it does feel like the melee guy, they have just dumped all of their like melee things they've seen throughout the years into him. I just hope they've scaled it accordingly so it actually feels good to use, instead of it being like, well, why the hell would I use this one-time use skill that barely does damage and also isn't that good? Like in Wonderlands, there's a lot of like melee abilities that to me just did not feel as good as all the other options,
Passive, and the next passive further boosts it by giving him a 25% chance to ricochet.
So even more ricochet. And there are other skills, I think, that like tap into like more shots, more projectiles, all these things. So to me, that could be really fun. It could also not be, given how shitty the cannons end up being. Like maybe they just scale terribly, but a man can dream. And I could see there being some like dope ass class mods where like the longer it's active, the higher the fire rate becomes, or something like that,
So this branch very obviously has a focus on projectiles with a splash of incendiary damage mixed in.
But I feel like if you get this, then we're gonna have crazy splash damage as well. Anyways,
next branch starts off with
to me, it had me and then it lost me. But let's get into it.
Confetti, which is the way I want to start everything. Roughest ordinances deal bonus damage in his
Gnawing
current
Fetus said
weapon.
if they lifted flat damage numbers, I'd be scared. But if they do the Wonderland scaling off of weapon damage, should be tasty.
Should be tasty. Yeah, there's always like the thing of like there are certain skills that like the base damage scale is pretty good, but I hope so. That's what we'll say.
Weapons element. 40% with a 5-point investment, so you may be able to tell where this is going, but you'll be misled.
It sucks. I was so
hoping will have a focus on ordnance, but that's the side project. The main theme here is elemental damage and spreading effects. With the Insta-Fort battle system augment, Rafa's Peacebreaker cannons also deal ordnance damage, and Rafa deals increased ordnance damage while Peacebreaker cannons are active. Pressing F while they're active causes them to disconnect from Rafa and become a turret companion that fires on enemies in place. Additionally, it will fire grenades at its target.
This one seems crazy, but then you see the other skills that are a little less crazy. But that's awesome, man. It changes our cannons to giant, like, fucking ordnance scaling, which the one skill tree that is his, like, Maliwan, or not Maliwan, Jacobs, not Mike Jacobs, TDR one, where he has this, like, giant gun that also scales off ordnance damage. He has a lot of ordnance scaling abilities in there. This would just make this infinitely better. And I love the fact that you can just deploy them, like, just pop them off, and then just start shredding things. I don't know if they track you, or, like, they follow you, or if it's... they just, like, you make a drone. I think it's probably more likely that you just make a drone. And the fact that they're like, fuck it, you also just chuck a grenade now. It's kind of crazy. They haven't answered that of, like, and it has to be that. It has to be a free grenade, right? It can't just be that, like, oh yeah, if you have a grenade, we'll just pop it out. It has to be a free grenade. If not, that's bullshit, you know? Or at least the grenades have to be shitty as hell.
Copying one that Rafa has equipped. So yes, this also likes ordnance, but the next few skills kind of branch away from
this
that,
is the bummer.
Unfortunately.
This part.
But with these two,
9
boosting
feet
your
is said
ordnance
it says in place, so like
Yeah,
Roland's
probably like
turret.
Roland's turret. Yeah, turret, yeah.
damage will boost your action skill and vice versa. With Vitrol, the first shot from Rafa's fully loaded magazine deals 55% bonus corrosive damage with a 5-point investment.
Which is a little bit of a bummer, because there's other skills that are like this, but they're not down that path. The good news is this one's really close to the top clusters anyway, but yeah.
This would be strong with a powerful low magazine gun like a sniper, but I can't see this being very good with normal weapons, especially this late in the tree. The capstone coming up spreads corrosive damage a bit better than this, and the next passive pays this off. Pain Reaction gives Rafa's weapons a chance to ricochet off enemies suffering from status effects.
Again, theoretically, you could use the same augment. I don't know what the augment was for this skill tree, but yeah, the one that, like, applies splash damage and fire to everybody, that would just mass apply that, and then it would cause a lot of ricochets.
That on a masher.
Yeah, on a masher would be great. Yeah, especially. Oh wait, no, it doesn't say Rafa's weapons. I wonder if that also counts as your thing. Yeah, but even still, you activate your guns, you apply an element to them, and then you just unload a masher into them, and it like basically spreads. I do wonder. This is something I was thinking about. I don't know if. Do you think that, like, if I applied multiple statuses to an enemy and I shot them, if it would detonate the chance on each? So it would be like, oh, you have fire, electro, etc. We're going to detonate that 3% chance or whatever it ends up being when it's fully maxed out in like one shot. It doesn't have a cooldown, so regardless, you would just keep dumping mags and see.
15% chance per status effect. So for this to work, you need to spread out the elemental effects, though I'm not sure if the payoff is worth the investment, as we've seen ricochet effects done better in other passives. You'd need to pick up Vitrol, the capstone, and the next passive for this payoff.
Oh, I see, because yeah, your first shot would apply an element, then you shoot it again until they just start sprinkling damage over. Okay.
Lightning Rod. While aiming with the gun, Rafa deals bonus shock damage. Each time he hits an enemy this way, deal increased bonus damage until he zooms out. 10% bonus damage and 5% additional up to 20 stacks.
See, these are the skills that I don't really love.
9 Fetus said that would be nuts, but I think it just checks if a status effect was on it.
Yeah, probably. It's like you have a status and that's a flag, and now it could possibly work. But I was gonna say for this, I don't know, this one's a little bit less fun to me. You gotta hold down the sights. Like, I always hate things like this where it forces you to play in like a really weird way, where I don't know anyone who like is constantly running around with aim, trying to not aim, because there's such a value put on aiming. Where like unless this came in like boom, like it took maybe 3 seconds for you to get max investment, but oftentimes there's gonna be a moment where like I want to look to the left, but I have to hold down aim. I don't know.
That's a lot of bonus damage if you can max the stacks and like aiming down sights. But this requires a large magazine, and Vitrol wants a smaller one. There's a bit of counter synergy going on here without investing in other passives, but this is a way to put the shocked effect on enemies, especially.
Here's a master tree right here, yeah.
Passive. El Elacran. Enemies damaged by his Peacebreaker cannons have increased status effect chance. 35% with a 1-point investment. So
if you think about it like that, I wasn't really thinking about it like that. If you think about it like a masher that now can also have an element on it, because you can get a masher, or you can get a Jacob's pistol that has Maliwan allegiance, probably something to it. So now it has an element. So, or even not, you just use a Jacob's at a base and get the highest scaling. You go up and shoot someone. Now it's going to ricochet, and those ricochet shots. I guess it doesn't imply that they have an element. I just wondered there was a way to get elements on your shots outside of this in another tree. But anyways, regardless, still neat.
And
well, I guess your machine gun does have it does apply an element, I thought, of some kind.
Enemies to ricochet bullets off of them. I would have preferred they stuck to the ordnance thing.
Yeah, I thought that's what it was. Yeah, when an enemy has an element associated with them, that it can ricochet shots. So that would just, you could just go up to a masher and dump mag, and then it would just obliterate all them.
As you might have guessed, but
he said I wanted an ordnate build. I also would love an ordnate build here.
2 more payoffs coming up. So Bear
Here we go,
with me.
capstone.
If you join the beam team, the Peacebreaker cannons are replaced with shock and corrosive beams. Each beam automatically locks onto enemies in your view and may lock onto different enemies. Whenever Ruffer applies a
Gnawing
status
Fetus
effect,
said you just aim down sight. First shot applies corrosive and shock. Reload. They're usually one shots. Profit.
Yeah, but then you gotta hold it for so long. I know you don't have to, but it feels like I do. You can also just get a Jacobs. I bet there's gonna be a lot of Jacobs, like single shot snipers, same thing, where you shoot, it ricochets, melts everyone in a radius. But this is kind of cool. It changes them into like probably hit scan beams, which stacks 2 elements, which is rare. Both gun, I think, is going to have a separate element. Whenever Rafa applies an element, gains action skill cooldown. So that's... No, action skill damage. Damage. I was about to say cooldown is insane, but damage is also crazy. But anyways.
gain increased action skill damage. So this is that payoff for applying status
That one-
effects, besides the dot damage, of course.
Yeah, I feel like this one's just going to be a shit ton of damage. Like Nog said, it feels like a Jacobs-inspired like thing. Even if it's not a Jacobs Master, it could also be a Jacobs shotgun.
With
Ton
the
of
next
pellet
passive,
count.
we'll round it all out. Inspirado gives Rafa increased action skill cooldown rate and duration when he afflicts a status effect. Stacks 10 times to 100% duration rate and
That's so fucked up.
150% cooldown rate, meaning you'll get off your cannons more often and they will last longer.
Yeah, because eventually your cannons are gonna drop. But if your cannons apply electro and corrosive at a crazy rate, then even when it goes down, you're still gonna have this because it lasts 8 seconds, and you have 100% upkeep. Yeah, that's gonna be crazy. You may have unlimited like Tesla cannons, etc. That's crazy.
So this branch is all
The
about
only thing that would make it
spreading
better if it
status
was ice, because that way everyone's CC'd as well. But you can't have too many nice things. Also, electro and corrosive, you're always covered. That's also cool.
with a minor theme in Ordnance. If you like elemental damage, this one might be for you.
Yeah, also I think the ordnate damage is being slept on because it does take a percentage of your ordnate damage and put it into other things, which is pretty good. Anyways,
The final branch starts with Barrage.
here we go. This one, I see the vision. I don't remember it clearly, but I thought I was less. I thought it was like I was the most excited for this path. Then it was this one, and then it was this one. I was the least excited for the middle one, but now that Nong has showed me that like Jacob's pistol probably makes that really good. Yeah, I kind of see that one being exciting too.
It boosts the overdrive trait, giving Rafa increased splash damage while
Yeah, this is the overdrive
active
this
up
skill
to
tree, yeah,
50%
or this
with
patch.
a 5-point investment. This combos with
Gnawing
other parts of the
Fetus said I
branch
know
to
my
go up
build
to
on him, I
100.
think. But I might do Malawan Girl first, skeptical smiley
You're not
face.
you're not even interested in the Viking guy? You don't want to go fucking melee sicko mode, man? I do wonder, because I see him having a lot of like grenade specific things. I wonder if the Viking guy is going to have the opposite. I wonder if he's going to be like, because he's giant. I wonder if he's going to be like specifically ordinate LMGs I'm going to buff, which makes sense given how huge he is to be like, yeah, I can do more with this than you could, you know?
100%. This also combos with the Organ Unmissable Missiles. Pressing F while the Peacebreaker cannons are active causes them to fire a volley of homing rockets at enemies in view at the cost of action skill duration. The duration loss is only 5% of max, so it's not too bad.
I'm so happy they put that one with like ammo regen, damage scaling on fire, so it turns your things into fire scaling, and it scales up, I believe, your own damage or something like that. Yeah, I that to me seems pretty smexy. That's an augment that we can get really early, whereas this one it's like, yeah, but I don't know.
You can be spamming missiles out if you really like, but it will end your action skill early if you prefer getting a huge burst of damage.
I guess there's no,
Since
it doesn't.
you might
It's
be
not on
ending it
cooldown, so you
early,
can keep
grabbing
spamming. which is cool.
Everdrive and increasing your overdrive duration to 55% with a
55% is crazy.
investment might be worth it. Though an extra 6 or so seconds at a baseline doesn't seem too great to me on its own. Thankfully, it won't be on its own. You'll buff overdrive with a passive like the next one, Devil May Care. While overdrive
Devil May Care. A reference I get.
is active, Rafa gains further increase to movement speed and gains health regeneration. But when it's not active, Rafa takes increased damage and gains increased action skill cooldown rate. Why the downside, you might ask? Because with a 5-point investment, you get 35% extra movement speed, 2.5% health a second, and a 30% cooldown rate. 20% extra damage isn't too bad considering you can offset it with other passive.
Also, he has another skill, I don't know if it's in this one or the other one, that gives him another 30 movement speed just for doing nothing. So you're going to be zooming, dude. You're zooming with this class? As well, health regeneration? Yeah.
This will get you to spamming rockets more.
McFluffigan said Devil May Care predates the Devil May Cry series.
Devil May Care predates Devil May Cry. Oh, is that right? Okay, wait, am I what? You could easily be memeing on me. I thought it was just a Devil May Cry reference. Anyways,
Often. Timurado further boosts your overdrive, giving you increased gun damage but decreased weapon handling. Bonus increasing the longer overdrive has
Gnawing
been active.
Fetus said Jesus, Zoomy
Zoomy boy, and also this, which your overdrive skill, this is insane. Rafa gains increased gun damage but decreased weapon handling. This bonus is based on how long the overdrive has been active. So the longer your overdrive gets, the more like comically terrible you're actually just gonna get. Or like you're gonna be shooting and there's just gonna be bullets going in a V pattern eventually. If you can get your overdrive to last so long, I think you can based on the capstone.
5% increased damage per second and 5% decreased handling per second. This can get crazy, but it encourages you not to end the action skill early, kind of invalidating the augment of this branch. Let's just hope you can keep that 12 to 18 second overdrive duration going as long as possible to really rack up the gun damage. The action skill has a 32-second cooldown, so you need to find a way to make your overdrive last that long to lead into the next action skill. If so, you could truly break the game with the bonus damage. Losing all your weapon
McFlufferkin
handling
said devil may care is an idiom for a carefree, inconsequential attitude.
Oh, devil may care is an idiom for carefree, inconsequential. Weird. I would not have thought. Okay, maybe I don't know what it is. Well, then never mind. Another reference I do not get.
Especially with the next tier single point passive. Soltado, when you kill, you double all your overdrive bonuses for 8 seconds.
This is crazy. This is just like the one lady who's like, oh yeah, by the way, I triple dip into kill skills. And you're like, what? At max stacks, it started giving you like 40%. Yeah. Again, I feel like that's the only thing that like doesn't bum me out, but it just seems so lazy. I wish it's cool. It's good. It just makes it kind of like needlessly complicated to build up the siren lady, where you're like, I get like twice, but 3 times you triple dip into whatever maybe it's not like you get the base and then some, but you get like 1% more. Even that seems crazy, because if you get all of them, you get this 3 perks, and then it like 10 times 3s them. Anyways, this
seemingly doesn't stack, or it would be ridiculous.
So for 8 seconds, that's a long time.
But it might also double that 20% damage increase, something I couldn't test. I see all these bonuses really getting you to insane levels of damage output, especially since the capstone, Volatile Hollow Points, replaces Rafa's cannons with rockets that deal splash damage.
This one's fast. What it's kind of weird because it says it replaces his weapon with rockets that do splash damage, but isn't the other one that up top, whenever you have a full magazine, it does splash damage on all your gunshots? I guess probably this is way more splash damage, but the 33 damage to me doesn't seem that spicy compared to the shotgun that was like something, and it's also projectile based.
The first branch had a focus on projectiles and incendiary damage.
Yeah, it says no, maybe not. Maybe it's 3, but yeah, it's not that much damage anyway. Yeah, never mind.
The next is
I thought it was more.
Spreading status effects with a minor theme in Ordnance, and this branch is all about buffing
but theoretically, you're triple dipping into that because the ricochets are gonna
overdrive trait and splash damage. Overall, this tree is very different to the arc knives. But we have a final tree to go, the Apophis Lance, which has you fire 3 powerful blasts.
We already talked about this one, but I do think he shows eventually, so Rafa gains increased reload speed, which eventually I think sequences, oh god, what the hell happened there? What? There we go. Whenever Rafa reloads his weapon, he gains cooldown speed, so that can kind of play into like the idea that there were a couple skills within the one thing where like, when you're at full magazine, and then also not even about trying to scale up damage.
Said, but when he has like 550% increased damage and reduced handling. Little booms are good if they're big.
That's a good point too. Yeah. Especially if you have the augment that does like ammo regen, so now you're not even losing ammo. So you can like it can be worth missing a couple shots, and also if you're playing co-op, your friends are probably happy because you're giving them that. I think that's gonna be Rafa. That skill tree to me is a lot of fun. It's not a lot of like, I feel it's funny because with Rafa, I think you get it all in a lot of ways. Like you get the melee if you want to be proactive and like run around and slash it up, you get that. But if you also want to just have like gunner nonsense and just like it's basically, it sounds like a cooler version of gun zerking. Instead of you just getting 1 more copy of the weapon in your hand, or like I guess you're just taking 2 and holding them both. Instead, you're getting like shotguns, you're getting missile launchers, you're getting machine guns that eventually mutate into like tethers, like electro-corrosive tethers, so on and so forth. So it gets really nutty really fast. I think I seen a comment that was like, to me, seeing the same thing. Seems like second tree together will have some. Yeah, seems like the second and third tree together will have some really meaty shotgun potential with up to 100% increased damage on your first shot and increased reload speed, which also lets you get your ult back faster. As well as 40% damage reduction and instant shield recovery on kill, which shapes up nicely. And that's not even talking about all the fact that you could get the pellet count, which also activates ricochet, which also, I forgot which one of these other ones was, which is like, I think it also applies like some sort of a status to them or something like that. Oh no, when you slide, you also apply ricochets and stuff like that. So just some nutty craziness. And there's a lot of ones in here that I missed. Like I think there was this one this one where like when you activate something, I think he talks about it at some point here. Where is it? There it is.
If you remember, the lance reduces it, so this is a way to consumption. With metal management, a single point gets you 2 seconds of no ammo consumption when you activate or re-trigger an action skill. This means those skills that proc with the first bullet of your magazine suddenly proc a lot for 2 seconds. Now those Vladof guns suddenly look a lot better, as well as those passives even in a previous tree. If you remember, there was one that gets a lot of bonus corrosive damage on the first shot. Now,
I don't get this. I'm confused. Whenever Rafa activates or triggers an action
said,
skill.
"Damn it, this is probably gonna be my first character now." I love run and gun masher builds.
Yeah. We'll see. We still have 2 other characters. And I will say, even if I only seen the Siren, I would say that would a good jump. I will say Rafa to me seems like just more fun. I like synergy. I think the Siren lady didn't have as much. Maybe I didn't see the potential. It could be the case. I probably watched one of his videos that goes over it too. But yeah, this one is the weird one where I don't understand. It says whenever Rafa activates or re-triggers an action skill, but then he mentions, I just, is that what he means? Oh, that's what he means. Okay, so you activate your action skill for 2 seconds, and then you could basically tap into that like initial burst shot scaling damage the entire time. That's pretty good. Hopefully your weapon has enough fire rate. Yeah, because
McFlufferkin said seems like he's got melee, grenade and gun trees. Red tree is most focused on his handling and firepower, while blue is more about cooldowns and grenades for ordnance slot. Green is melee uptime.
Yeah. I was about to say, to me, the way I always see it is, I think every character kind of falls in this dichotomy, which is like you have 2 main play styles that seem like they heavily selfishly invest in themselves. Maybe there's like a couple skills at the very top that are like meant to be like kind of for other things, but then there's like the main one that's kind of meant to be the bridge for either. But then that one usually has some of the craziest scaling stuff at the bottom that kind of tries to make up for it. So if you did want to go down,
those things fire as fast as you click, balanced by the reload speed.
Yeah, Masher is true. And also, dude, I feel like we could get a Masher with explosive damage, which to me would apply more statuses if the Masher also has a Maliwan pretext. It's going to get crazy. It's going to get downright diabolical, okay? And I'm here for it. I can't wait. I'm very excited for Borderlands, and I cannot wait to see the next characters. I really hope the devs just give us like a skill tree editor thing, because to me, having to see someone like pause and all that shit, I just want to be able to dump a bunch of skill points into it, see all the things at the max investment, and then like math out in my head what I think would synergize. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, Lone did send us a thing to look at before we jump into the story of good old, Wuthering Waves. Where is it? Wuthering Waves. Oh, I hit the ZZ tab accidentally.
Blue tree is also the most Tadiori gimmick-centric, while green and red are fun in other ways.
Yes. I still... I don't... Yeah, I guess that's true too. Yeah, that's probably really true. I keep thinking of like shotguns, but theoretically, especially if we're investing in his 2 gunner skill trees, and we have the one that the more magazine you have in your gun, and if you don't shoot or something like that, I could see how that plays really well with not just shotguns that are Jacobs that like have 14x the pellets, but also TDRs. And again, it would be insane if TDRs also count as ricochet or like non-gun projectiles of some kind. That would get really nutty. Even if they don't, it would still allow you to basically like throw a weapon. Your gun still is shooting its entire magazine, but you could have a full magazine immediately, you know, so you're not just like shooting, reload, shoot, reload on like a pistol or something. Instead, with a Jacob, or not with Jacob, with a TDR, you would shoot, throw, and then get the benefit of your mag being dumped whilst you still have full magazine. So that would be great. Oh, and it's recovering ammunition. The only thing that I'm not sure about that is I really hope they recover ammunition in the reserve, which they probably won't, but I would always prefer that. Instead of it just recovering like the magazine. To me, that's a little corny. But anyways, unless this is the first thing where they make it so that like when you recover ammunition in your magazine, it also recovers a bullet in the TDR mag, which they've never done, but maybe this is it. We're living. I don't know. There'll probably be other ways to recover ammunition, but this is what Lone just sent us. This is for Wuthering Waves. Here we go. The new character's coming in Wuthering Waves. Oh shit! No way. Ah. God damn you. God damn you. She is coming next. I might have to skip her, man. That's such a bummer. It's funny because my Havoc team has kind of been aging out of the meta. Has started to be a little less bite. And I guarantee this is the lady that will like bring them back up to snuff. This character though is Animo, and this character I thought looked great, but she's right beside you. Ah. Yeah. Yeah, that's important. I would love it if it was her, then him, then her. That way there's a recovery period in between, damn you. Also, it actually works out much better than I thought. Okay, we made it. There's hope. There's hope. So after Fenrir, we're going on a patch, which is going to be 1 cycle. And then it looks like we're getting 2 on patch 2.6. And then we're getting this guy in patch 7, maybe. It looks like there's a question mark. That's a maybe. But there might be more recovery time than I initially thought. The issue is that I like this character too. Shit. And she's Animo, which could be
Lone Syndicate
real good.
said, I'm excited for lunch. Didn't think she'd be an emo gauntlet character.
Is that her name, Lunch? Oh no, you're excited to eat lunch, and oh, you're Luna. Luna, gotcha. You're excited for Luno, but you're surprised. Oh, I didn't think she was going to be a Anomaly Gauntlet. Yeah, unless she's not. Do you have any information alone about her, if she's actually going to duke it out? Or is she going to be like an Animo support? Because probably not an Animo support because we just got one. So she probably is going to be another version of like a DPS. I wonder if she's meant to replace Rover. So it'll be like the tall sword lady and the elf lady, and then her. Maybe that'll be the ideal team. Although I do think this guy is also Animo based, but I could be wrong. Also, does Electro exist? Sorry, it's just we have like no Electro characters. Also, is this in the future? We get a Gunner finally, and we get this lady. I'm not even excited for these two. At least the Gunner lady, I am. I just wish it was a dude shooting people in the chest. You know.
McFlufferkin said Froliver next patch, Moon and Sun 2.6, Swordsman and Gun Gal 2.7, Chisel is 2.8.
It's 2.8, yeah. So it sucks because I will have a refractory period again here, because I don't think I'm going with on these two.
Lone Syndicate said look at the symbols below the name, she has the gauntlet icon next to her.
Oh, no, I knew that. Yeah, I get that. I got that. I believe you. I was going to say I didn't believe you. This sucks that this lady's a sword lady. I wish it was a big... I guess there's no shield, right? So hopefully that's Claymore. I hope that's what it means. Probably not, though. It's probably going to be a small sword user. But I also don't know what these characters are, which is half of the battle. As much as their design is very cool, I also want them to do something well. And a character that I would love to have is someone who makes the current team I have better. Turns out all of these are. This character I think is going to do that. This character is probably going to do that. This character is probably going to do that. I do hope this character is going to be badass, though, because she... does look cool.
said that's the icon for Broadblade.
It is? Oh, the big one with the slash? Gotcha. Okay, perfect. I also, these, if I can save up for these two, I'll be happy. I just have to not break when it comes to this other lady. Anyways, let me get cooking with Wuthering Waves loading it up, and we'll jump into some story. I still haven't, dude, you want to know what's just sad and depressing? I still haven't played any more than like 5 minutes with any of these characters in ZZ or Wuthering Waves. So we got the one lady. I still haven't played with her at all.
Said my Yinlin gonna make happy to have a new electric character.
Sure, Yinlin. Who is Electro in that? We don't have another Electro character coming down the pipeline, right? Or did I miss one of them? I really hope it's not the... No, I missed. Oh, what? Oh, never mind. I might have to skip then. I have no Electro team. No, why? I should have known. I didn't even look at her element because I thought, well, shit. There's no way a fucking red-headed armor centurion that's covered in red would be fucking Electro. Oh, I'm gonna riot. I should know at this point. This is not a game fault thing. This is a me fault thing. God damn it. God damn it, me. Stupid fool. Ow. Oh, it is. What if she's one of the few characters that's not allegiant based with that? In that case, I might be able to go all the fuck in on this lady. That sucks so hard, man. I thought she was so cool looking. Maybe we start building on an Electro team, except we can't.
McFluffican said Electro has had a character with almost every color under the sun.
Yeah, it's fair.
Ignoring Fetus said time to build a ghetto Electro team.
Yeah,
then.
maybe. Maybe. It's just one of the few characters that I don't think I have any character that's like even slightly Electro. Like I've been both unlucky and haven't wanted Electro characters. Also, let me reattune the dialogue, aka the audio.
Lone Syndicate said Grin, you could get her then wait for the Yinlin rerun.
No. I don't think that works out because I'm already planning on getting like one character unless it comes maybe later down the line. Yeah. Maybe. It has to fall in the perfect alignment in order for that to work out. But yes. Like it has to
said to be fair, electricity and fire are forms of plasma, so that's probably what they're going for with Augusta.
Then conquer.
Fusion is also fire, but also not quite.
I guess. I guess. I don't like it, but I guess I see the logic, even though I'm upset. Yeah, I don't think I have many Electro characters. Besides, what's her name? If she was for her, I'd build her out in a second. Also, this thigh squish meat is insane. Anyways, I also have him. I think I am also max constellation with him, so maybe, I don't know. 4 stars are kind of like just ass in this game, which is a criticism people keep pointing out, which is valid. I should say ass. There are good ones like her. It's just, I get. They probably are better. They're probably fine, honestly. Who wants to build a 4-star? Disgusts me. Anyways, unless it's what do you call it? Names. Unless it's Lumi. Lumi is great. We love having you. You're different. Okay, they're all pieces of shit. I say you're fine. Anyways, let us get after it. And first, before we get into the story, let's burn my resin. Listen, I'm just at this point. I just haven't taken the time to level up, get my materials. Sorry, words are hard. Where are we going? Anyways, yeah, that's what I was saying. I still have yet to play with any of these characters, dude. I haven't played with the character in ZZZs yet. I still haven't got enough artifacts to get her going. I still haven't done the story in that game to get to the thing. Also, let's get Vince. Vince says, it's been a while. What's good, Vince? How are you, my dude? I think you are the Vince.
McFluffican said the elements and weapons almost have no purpose at this point in Wu.
It is true. It is chaos.
Lumi is electric-powered light bulbs, so she's not natural light like Verena or Jinsei is for Spectro.
It's a little loud.
Ignoring Fetus said doesn't have to be the best of the best team, just as long as you like them well.
Right. As a person who doesn't enjoy I would say no.
Lone Syndicate said 4-star character are fine in Wua. It's 4-star weapons that are hot ass bun.
That's fair. I guess it's just always relative to where I'm like, yeah, but isn't this character kind of better? There are a good bit of 4-star ones. I guess we just have such a low clip rate of 4 stars. I don't think we've gotten one that was on par to how godly some of them were at the base. For instance, I think this lady has still not gotten power crept at all. So if we got some more of them, I'd be happy with it. It's turned too loud, especially when we're just grinding. What was I gonna say, man? To Nong's point of Nong is just have fun, kiddo. Man, I kind of wish people were more honest and were do you know how hard it is to have fun when you are when it's taking 2 extra minutes to do something that could otherwise be done in seconds, and you probably don't want to do it in general. You know, if you're having a good time, you're like, sure, maybe. But I don't know. I say this as a person who was like, you know what? You're right, Nong. Or a person who is, I maybe was alone, or myself probably talking in my ear. I just want to get Sambi because I just think, what a cool character. And I think if I get her and I get her weapon, I should be able to have a fun time, right? And if not, she looks like she's a fun character. I love Sambi. One of the first characters I got and invested in, or not invested in, I beat their relationship quest. I was like, let's do it. And I have never been more miserable playing a video game than playing Sambi in the slightest. It is a constant reminder of like, and I don't know if this says it about me, it's probably like, you guys can have a great time with her, great. Same thing as probably Yoimiya, where like, I can't. I can't.
Said, then why the fuck do you play the game if you don't enjoy playing it long?
Because I enjoy playing it. It's not...
said, unless you're grinding the endgame content, 4 stars are still solid in Wu Wa and ZZZ. And you don't really stream either game's most challenging content, so I assume you don't do so.
One sec. I'll reply to that in a minute. Because, you know, to me, it's an incomplete algorithm, okay? So, like, you're like, hey, why are you playing the game if you're not enjoying it? Well, I'm enjoying it, but you're leaving out a crucial part. It's almost like saying, someone being like, this character's hot, so I'm going to go on it, even though you hate the fucking gameplay. So to me, a character needs to reach a certain level of I like the gameplay and a certain level of fucking okay time consumption, a okay amount of time completed.
Blind Syndicate
I'm
said,
saying?
I always pick fun over most things, don't really care if a character is not good.
It is insane to me. This is like, to me, it sounds like privilege. A little bit. I don't like saying that at all, but this is one of those things where like, you know, I just like having fun. Maybe, again, that is true. It's a possibility that exists.
GTID said, finally, a Wuthering stream. I have Carlotta's skin lol.
Oh, nice, you finally secured it. Good shit, man. But yeah, to me, I need to, it's almost like someone being like, you know, hey, guy, you know, you work this minimum wage job that doesn't pay anything, but you're having fun. You'll never work a day in your life. And you're like, bitch, you pay me 5 times less than what I should be paying in the same job another place. So to me, there's a level of like, listen, man, I want to like how about I enjoy what I don't need to love it. How about I enjoy what I do? And also, I kind of get fairly treated by my investment. I want a good deal, basically, is what I'm hoping for. So it needs to be the right algorithm. But what did Fluff say also? Unless you're grinding the end game content, 4 stars are still solid movie. Yeah, it's true. And it's ZZZs, I guess. To me, I just find that I always like things where, like, if I'm willing, I wish most of these games work this way, which they're impossible to work this way because they're monetized through their power, essentially. But I would love if there was a game where, like, if I, like, there's no reason to, like, crown a character in these games. Like, it doesn't give you enough of power gain to make it actually, like, wow. No, getting a constellation does. Getting a weapon gets you that. Getting another character that amplifies the other character gets you that. I wish there was a game that didn't have that element to it. I wish if I wanted to just keep dumping resources into a character, then that could become substantially good. You can only play this game for so many times where, like, even if you were to dump all of your resin day one into getting the perfect artifacts, you're going to cap out on that really fast. And hey, if you invest money, you're going to get more out of that artifact anyway because you have more resin. So yeah, I don't know. To me, that's the only thing where, like, yeah, I wish I could make whatever character I want as good. I wish there wasn't an intrinsic, like, cap on characters' proficiency and skill. It would be cool if I just like Sambi, I keep reinvesting all my materials in her and just make her even more crazy, you know?
GTID
that takes half a
those
year,
last
but
stages
still.
were actually challenging that ape stage.
Which ape stage? I finished Crisis Mode. I don't think I played Crisis Mode yet. I've honestly, because I've been doing so much, like, weird businessy things, I haven't had a chance to, like, grind things. I usually wait till last minute, do them, which I would not advise for anybody. It's not a good strat to do, but, you know, is what it is. Oh, good, he's here. We'll just drop it. I always feel like the anchor is not worth dropping, so I never do it. But it's a solid 10K. It's not that great. I wonder if one of his constellations or copies gives him, like, a crazy gain. All right, we'll drop this. Oh, I might have actually not letting my anchor drop. I did. Damn it. We'll do this. Bop.
The Cluffican said crowning characters are more like, I like this character a lot, and want to eke out the most out of them after getting all other avenues fulfilled.
Yeah, it's more of a symbolism thing. I would say it's more of like a I just like you a lot kind of thing. You deserve this. You've taken care of me enough. But I definitely don't feel like I'm like, yeah, this is worth it. You know, I'm sitting on like fucking 6 crowns and I'm like, it fucking means nothing. You know? Again, it's funny because a lot of that stuff is what people say and preach, which is like this concept of like, You know, do something that you love, or like what is it called? Try your best or some shit like that. And then there's like these things that to me I kind of wish people told me when I was younger, which is like one of the things I like, which replaces like do your best, which is do what is required, which it sounds a little too like, you know, rah Mr. Man kind of thing, but it's true. Like sometimes to do what, like instead of doing your best may actually be good enough. But if you tell yourself I need to do what is required, then your first question is, okay, well, what is required? And then you might realize, holy fucking shit, I gotta wake up at like 7 or fucking like 5 a.m. every day, get up and run this track course just to beat this guy who I wanted to beat in this course. Holy shit, that's not worth it.
Said, shit,
or
I love the
let's
new
lock in,
titles
let's
we
do
can
it.
equip. I already have the new one maxed.
Shield, I love the new titles.
McFlufferkin said regarding Sanbi, she pretty much turns on most of her potential once she has Trigger and Pulchra. The pair of Aftershock does a lot for her. If Jufufu is also Aftershock, she might be a good alt.
Maybe. I did see that the reason why I'm going for Jufufu on ZZZ is because she seems like she's a good character for Astrid, I think. No, is it Astrid or is it It's the agent lady. I always get to mix up Astrid and then there's like the character that she's made for. God damn, I'm so bad at it. I should know this. I've said her name tons. I don't think it's Astrid. That's Astrid. Yeah, that's not it. It's Evelyn. Evelyn. Yeah. She has chain attack damage increased by 30%. So pretty good. Did you get? I didn't get the code. Do you want to send it to me? I love you forever. Because yeah. Or is it gone? Did I lose it? Ba-ba-da-ba. Or did somebody put it in the Discord?
Lone Syndicate said, as someone who has max skills on Ellen, Rena and Corrin in ZZ, the only character I have max out skills across the board, I love my mate.
Yes, it's always a
G-Red
sentiment
said
of love.
Lona would have been that character for me. But the game never gave me her. Which I suppose was a blessing in disguise, since that was one of the final straws to get me out of these games.
I was gonna say Red is like it sounds like a fucking anime protagonist.
Right. So Evelyn doesn't pair with Aftershock. So if Jufufu is good for her, then she's probably a chain attack buffer like a better Colada.
Well, I thought she did two things. I think she gives alt gain and she also gives chain attack gain. But I thought she also did something else, but maybe I'm wrong. I watched the video on Jufufu, but I watched it like rushed video from I Win to Lose because he's covering too many games at this point. But yes. Also, did anybody post the code in the Discord? Probably not. Probably not. Doo-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-boo.
GTID said 1. SOLARISSEASIDESTORY2.
Thank you.
SUMMERSHALLNOTFADE. You know I got you red exclamation
Thank you.
mark.
Appreciate it, Chip. I'm going over to our stream so I can copy and paste them. So you'll just see my face for a little bit because I need to do that. Perfect. Copy. Go over to the game.
Lone Syndicate said, I Fufu dose buff chain attacks. She increases the ultimate gauge to allow more alt spam.
Yes,
McFlufferkin said, I think I'm misremembering. I believe one or both of the Spook Shack agents coming in the next banner cycle is Aftershock.
Ooh, that's something at least. Maybe I don't know. I know it's probably a good idea to do that, to like be like, hey, let's lock in and get the character. But a part of me is just like a jaded lover, kind of like Red, where I'm like, no, you don't get to let me down twice. Okay, you piece of shit. What happened? I might not be able... Summerhall not fade? Is that misspelled in some way? Or did I fuck up and not press... I think that's what happened. There was a space in there. Nice! Thank you. Now we are a slightly bit richer for our Fenrir-like lady. Boop. Thank you. Oh, also before I do that, actually, let me go back to this. Oh, and we'll turn off this, just so I don't have that playing in the background. And then we will lower this by a lot. Then we will increase... There we go. And we'll increase the Wuthering Waves soundtrack. And then we will see if this fox lady is so charming, man. Or how charming she is. But she has been so charming thus far. Yay! Claim.
McFlufferkin said, for me, though, I'm holding out for either the next set of Obel Squad agents or the Angels of Delusion virtual idols. whichever comes first,
I seen-
and hopefully not one after the other.
I just seen our ZZ tab. I seen that there was like a thing that was like, hey, there's a new character. She didn't look crazy to me. She didn't look like she had too much going on. But maybe I didn't see it. I just like a thumbnail wise, I was just like, oh, it didn't look like it was insane visuals. So I'm happy. I'm happy about it. I'm gonna be able to go in on these two characters and then maybe miss, but like I can have a refractory period somewhere else. Anyways, all right. Let us do this. I think we got all of our things done. We did. Okay, time to do the story. Where are you taking me? That way. Go to the city. Is this the right thing? The maid left the town without saying goodbye. Follow her trail to the land of glory. I don't think this is it. I don't. Where's this story? Why is the quest log on the other page? It's weird.
GTID said GRINN ain't no way your B-Day is 2 days after mine read exclamation mark.
How do you know my... Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah, probably. Hypothetically say that's real. It's a lie. It's probably not true. It's probably if I just said it to put an elaborate ruse on people. But anyways, if we did have a similar birthday pattern, very cool. You are also a baby that is unfortunately less celebration because it's right after a big celebration. But anyways, and everyone's usually tired by the time it comes around. But anyways, yes. No, I guess that is the right thing. Yeah, all right. Why is it over here? Am I in the right... Oh, I am in the right place. Oh, I see. Yes, I did not progress with the story. I managed to navigate around it. Hadada is the best month. Is it? Yeah, for me, it's snowy as shit, which is kind of nice, but it's also kind of gloomy. But yes, hypothetically speaking, if that was true, I would say that there were some positives to said thing and some negatives. All right, let's just do this. Zoomies up. Don't look at Branch. Also, I still haven't rolled to get the character to going yet. It's a bit of a bummer, but anyways, it's unfortunate. And some dialogue, maybe? Yes. So if you guys missed it, this character was wildly charming when we see it. So much so that I wanted to do a whole video just reacting to the story with you guys because it was so good. The facial, cheeky smiles and shit. A-grade stuff. We could get BackStab. I don't know.
What was that smirk about?
Fluff says, I prefer my half-birthday month, February.
GTID said shit my fault for exposing you like that.
It's all good. You didn't expose me because it was an elaborate lie. It's findable. People always are more generous on your birthday, and I would rather people just spend it on themselves and just focus on them. And yes, also I don't need more reminders of my impending death. Anyways, February. So your half-birthday month, February, can consistently all the days itself. Groundhog's Day, so would have been fun to be born. Ooh, that sounds awesome. And being born on near Groundhog's Day is fun. It's a good time to be there. Like crazy. You don't think when Wuthering Waves asked me for my honest birthday and I'm planning on playing this game for years, you don't think I would lie? You don't think I would permanently taint my experience by a birthday wish that was on the wrong day? You don't think I have that in me? Better than July, Fluff. What is the worst time to have a birthday? It's gotta be right before Christmas, or right after Christmas, I mean. That's gotta be some bullshit. You gotta be pissed. You gotta tell your parents, put me back in. Put me back in. You can hold out for another 2 weeks, Mom, until we're out of this damn thing.
Oh, me? I just sent word to certain people. Too much modesty is a double-edged sword, so I'll be frank. When it comes to bankability, I'm at the top of the game. That's how my family, the Silvers, have kept their position all these years. But the nobles here in Septimont are always hunting and contesting for more. Lions and wolves tear each other to pieces, while the hyenas lie in wait, eyes on their bellies. Everyone wants a taste of the juiciest meat.
Poor choice of words. But anyways.
And with the illegal betting they're running, once they hear I've left the old team, they'll all be scrambling to get a piece of the action.
Red says...
G-Red said February is my favorite month, because I'm a hopeless romantic. Granted, also the loneliness in my case, but whatever.
It lines up in some capacity. What does February have to do? Oh, is that a Valentine's Day or something like that? Guys, you guys have to realize, I live like in a box. Like I come out every couple minutes, a couple like 5 months, and I'm like, the sun exists? Cool, I go back down. Yeah. You know, I remember when you're in school, at least, you gotta like have a better gauge of like, it's Groundhog's Day, or not Groundhog's Day, it's like St. Patrick's Day in Canada we celebrate, so yeah.
Are you planning to muddy the waters?
The waters are already so murky, no one can tell who's stirring them.
McFlufferkin said like a groundhog?
Like a groundhog. Against the days, the dog day of summer, followed by that what remains of
Lone
the season
Syndicate
in
said
September.
October is my birthday month, which is also my share of the month of my favorite holiday.
I'm about to say, that'd be fire. I'd be down for that, because people aren't spent after Halloween usually, you know what I mean? People are, if anything, like juiced up, and also like when Halloween ends, there's always like this longing. And they're also like sugared up usually, you know? Also, you get autumn, so you get the best weather. It's just like a complete gift, you know? Jealous.
But it's still better now than it was before. The mess they made before the current effort took over was...
Do you think these people all have circulation problems with their legs? Because they all have like a really...
Mayplaws greet you, Looper.
Oh, what the fuck is that? Really like... Oh, also, does she have... No, that's probably just nothing. She looks like she has resident weaves in her eyeballs. Anyways, who's this man? Disgusting pig? Human being? Man? Yuck. Anyways.
I see you've been
That's a
waiting
very
for me,
closeted gay thing to say.
Cardboard.
Anyways.
He was my manager back in the Bow of Legions.
It's an NPC.
Has a gift for knowing exactly
We're
what to
okay.
say to anyone. Though, that's his flaw too.
For a manager,
G-Red said summer sucks. Damn the heat. Go outside nude and still be fucking sweating. No thanks.
Yeah, and what about the icing on top if you live in Canada and it's like, oh, you go one outside in summer? Hey, guess what? Here's fucking severe smoke warnings the entire day. You go outside, it smells like a fucking fireplace, and you're like, oh, good, it's great. Great. And you look at like the most beautiful vista you ever seen, and then it's just carpet bombed with like fog, and it's not fog, it's smoke. Anyways, this is an Alberta problem, but still.
Donna Julia Silva hoped you'd behave and return home. She bid that I reason with you at the earliest opportunity.
I see, this is a weird dog play thing.
But it seems you've found yourself a new ally. I dare say her hopes are dashed.
Good voice acting from him.
And? What's your point?
How disappointing. Not even a hint of charm when there's no crowd around to impress. Feeling confident about this new team of yours? What do you think your chances are of winning the championship?
I would love it if it was a gacha game that just had balls to say, yeah, there's like an entourage of like 3 people behind him or something. Instead, it's just Rover. And in my head, I'm like, Rover fucking can't do nothing. I mean, maybe his Scythe version, if you fucking max it out. Otherwise, he's like, yeah, he's right. I can't even argue with him. Rover would get slapped by most people, honestly. Just by himself? Wild. Anyways.
With me and this warrior? 100%.
I like her hair.
Enough, Cartor. Spare me the games and empty chatter. I have one question for you. Are you involved in the Silver's match fixing?
Very cool. That's a very long spear.
No. I do love money, but I don't stoop to that level to get it.
Depth of field.
Fair enough. You may leave now.
G-Red said, I mean, who doesn't love Twin Tails lol?
I feel like sometimes it looks like you're ripping hair out of your head a little bit, a little too much. You know, I feel like braids aren't used enough. Braids are fire.
Wuthering said that silence is deafening.
For him?
Dangerous question, Looper. Think carefully. The Silvers may have made you a star, but they can just as easily snuff that star out.
I feel like I'm getting ASMR. That's right in my ears.
I've never doubted your talent, but these are the rules of the game.
I know the rules well enough.
And so do I. I don't know why it had the same ring to it.
I just wonder if Domina Julia truly understands who's making the rules now, and where she stands in this game.
It always hits me when we're just a fucking asshole sitting in the back. We're just like, I can't go. Again, every fucking...
Is this character also from House Silva?
Not exactly. He's a free man, though he's handled Bow of Legion's business for the past few years. Look. Once we cross the Hero's Way, we'll get to the Capitolini Hill district. For centuries, countless gladiators have walked this very path to Colosseum Olympus, just as we are now.
All right, well, I tried to jump. It didn't happen. I was gonna say, it always makes me like. There's an ongoing headcanon I have now. I don't know if it's like outright to say, but it happened when we started playing Doom. And Doom just comes across to me, at least, as someone who has like some sort of social block of some kind. Now that could be induced by whatever you could possibly think of. But now I just see it in like every main protagonist because it's always like indicative of like game design limitations. And it's just, it kills me every time I see where a character's just like, oh man, I don't know what to say. I don't know how to react. What do I do with my hand? Etc. Oh, it just laughs. It makes me laugh.
The next qualifier is just ahead. Once it's over, we can take the cable car to the upper city.
McFluffican said Pig,
On an
Pony
autumn
and
day,
Twintails can be hit
the
or miss
view
for
as
me.
you ascend and the
If they are too
breeze on your
tightly
face
pulling the
can
hair into them,
truly-
it looks bad. But anime styles tend to manage keeping a lot of hair flowing despite the tails.
Yeah, but I say she has like some chaos a little bit.
Your spirits.
Got it. Spirits. That. Yes. Move. Da, 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 da. Ooh, this is really big. Huge ass area. Hello.
Are you ready for the Gladiators Aegon?
Yes.
Happy hunting,
He
Gladiators.
sounds way too excited. Unfortunately, I think we can only play with Rover.
Assured victory.
Oh.
Blue Fury. Let the Aegon begin.
Ooh, I bet this is going to be a game mode. Oh, shit, parry. Totally meant to do that. It wasn't just a reflex.
Hopefully this helps.
That barely worked. Shit. This cuz, I guess. I don't know. I just said, yeah, why not?
Judgment strikes.
Bang. Get up in the air again. Keep beating people up. I guess it's only an air where we can pop off.
We'll face judgment.
There's the big guy. Can we look at him? We got to get in the air. I haven't played Rover to know how to really play him, so yeah. Also, it is kind of loud, probably.
The wicked.
Drop this anchor on him. Can we do this?
Hopefully this
G-Red
helps.
said I'd agree with Fluff. Sometimes it's way too damn tight, causing some really unsightly seams in the back of the hair,
Yes.
which I often find distracting.
That's what I think about when I think about that JoJo, whatever her name is, where she just got like
Lone
permanent
Syndicate
damage.
said, too bad they don't give us Lupa to test.
I
on."
know. Bastards. So I guess we just have to focus on the one person who's like the health bar, and we'll be good. Little loud. I wish I could. Yeah. Nice. Oh, I do think I did that. I did think that. So there is probably sounds for like weapons. I just turned it down so you could hear the dialogue, which is sometimes muffled.
Dorothea, standing on the water.
Damn. She got legs for days. She's 9% legs.
That abnormal sensation came over me again when my sword struck the contender's echo.
Rover, that weird sensation also comes over me when I see the adult version of the lady. Anyways.
All the echoes in Septimont seem to exhibit unstable power. Something is definitely off.
It's a little on brand that she's using the Fenrir.
But it seems like no one else has noticed.
Contender Lupa isn't in the Power of Legions anymore. What?
It's just 2 days before the finals as well. It's unfair to her former teammates and her fans.
Fuck you.
Is it about the money? She's changed teammates how many times now? As for that newcomer next to her...
Without the Silver's patronage, there's no way a gladiator from the outskirts could rise to fame so quickly.
Quiet down! Where are you hearing these rumours? Open
real
your
one.
eyes. Lupa has never once thrown a match.
Everyone thinks they know the real truth. But consider this. It's a fact I know to be true.
What?
Let's go, my fellow warrior.
She took that on the chin, and she is a wolf, so she probably has giga hearing, too. There's nothing better when someone's like, no, I definitely know about this person. You're like, do you know them? No. But I know. You're like, all right, great. Blind confidence. Get you
All
everywhere.
going as planned. Let's get you settled somewhere comfortable. Then tomorrow, we head to the Colosseum Olympus for the semi-finals.
Wow, that was pretty... We just defied twice.
I've been meaning to ask. Is there a body of water in the city? I think Cardathia might have passed through there.
A body of water. Yes, but it's been abandoned for years. That elevator can take you to the upper city, though.
Cool. Rover's a
If you
time
wanna try
god.
looking for her, we
that
can
doesn't
start
sleep.
there.
Thanks. And,
Do you throw a match?
Yes?
God, they're good at their little camera angles like that.
McFluffican said a beau revoir.
Those people just now, they talked about match fixing. Don't you want to challenge that?
I didn't have time to gather enough proof before I left. Besides, this isn't the right moment.
Cheeky grin.
Once we win the Great Aegon, I'll make everything public. In Septimont, only the winners get to speak their truth.
Doesn't it bother you? Their slander gets under my skin. Doesn't it bother you?
I'm fine. High praise leads to harsh words. It's always like that. Honestly, I don't care what people say. This kind of thing happens every day in Septimont. If you can't handle it, you won't last.
Eesh.
Tarnishing rivals' reputations is one of their usual tricks. I cut off their betting profits, so it's only natural they'd be upset. Besides, now I have a reliable warrior by my side. That's all that matters.
I get red flags, gang, but I don't know if the developers are smart enough or assholes enough to do this. But that's a
Lone
little...
Syndicate said Lupa looks so hot and not because she's fusion either.
She looks great, but whenever there's someone who you just met being hyper touchy, guys, you're gonna get your kidneys harvested. Okay, it's a problem. Granted, we are helping her fight like an army. Still a little. If anything, that's not worth your.
G Red said red flag, but so damn cute. I'll bite.
Sometimes, man, with rose-colored glasses, every red flag looks like just a normal flag. Honestly, yeah.
No worrying about whether my teammate can keep up. No dealing with petty politics. Just the thrill of the fight.
Definitely a battle junkie. My nose. He's like, yeah, I like a woman who can kick the shit out of me.
My fellow warrior.
Honestly, I feel that over. Anyways. All right. Well, that's fun. Good little dialogue. Great cinematics. Again, the guy who's filming everything
said, "Look at that smile. Look at those
You
fangs."
mentioned be abandoned.
I didn't fuck that up. I was just
Because
trying
of the
not to.
first dark tide in Raguna. Oh, you know what a dark tide is, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Due to certain safety concerns at the time, the main city district was relocated further up the hill.
Wow. Look at this, man. Honestly, she kind of looks the part. Fair looks kind of like it fits. Also, man, why can't you guys make a character like this? Big guy like that we can summon. I wish they did more characters like that, like mass summons.
Gnawing Fetus said when all flags are red, there are no red flags.
Yeah, I can't tell the difference. Oh, we're gonna jump down there, I guess. I wonder if we should have. I'm about to say,
McFlufferkin said a Dark Tide is that 40k horde action game, obviously.
Of course, idiot. Stupid, dumb. How could you not know that? I think a Dark Tide is supposed to be like this like apocalyptic event type thing. It's like a mass.
You said Cartothea might have been here. Do you have an idea of where she passed through?
I think somewhere over there.
Dude.
Ah, that's where the statue of Hercules is.
I would love to live in like a place with weird, crazy, it's like, yeah, levels to it, like a city on top of a city type of thing. Sounds fucked up, but like, whenever I see like those crazy like Chinese built cities, which are like, there's like 7 layers to it and it's all kind of crazy. I don't know, there's something about that to me that is like weirdly like, that kind of seems cool, you know? Definitely not like good design probably, like you're gonna have like drug addict little corners essentially, where like light doesn't touch for years or something. But as far as just being a jungle gym,
McFlufferkin said the statue of Turkules, and over there, his cousin Twerkules.
Twerkules, just busting his ass down. Also, look at that. Imagine that. You see that just statue just fucking out of nowhere start going crazy. That'd be wild. All right. Trying to find our tall elf friend.
This is the place. I'll look for Cartothea's traces here.
How?
Why haven't you asked us about this? Yeah.
Through the connection we share.
What the fuck? What are you talking about?
All right then. I'll wait here.
Like no questions.
Good luck.
We're on to some weird shit. Okay. What's your special monthly sign or whatever it's called? I don't know what the fucking was white lady's asking. I don't know. Some shit about constellations or something. Is that it's not constellation? Is it constellation? It's like a whatever year you're born or some shit. It's some sort of relevant thing. I don't know. Sagittarius something. I don't know. Carthea isn't here. She's in her wrist.
McFlufferkin said star signs, but yes, constellations.
Is that what it is?
How's it going? You look frustrated.
Oh, so maybe she duked it out with her and she like possessed part of her? I don't know.
Fetus said horoscope
That's
sign.
what it is.
Mine's Cancer. TF if I know more than
Yeah,
that.
mine. It's hypothetically speaking, say mine is January 16th. That'd be crazy if my birthday was that. But what would that make me? And what would that attribute? Like they always have some bullshit attributing signs of it. Of like, you're really good with your hands, but you people hate you. And you're like, what? Jesus. Okay, asshole. I feel uneasy. I'm okay. We still have. I feel a little uneasy.
Don't worry. We can follow the lead on
McFlufferkin
Arsenosa.
said that'd make you a Capricorn.
Lone Syndicate said I'm a Libra.
You're a Libra. By the way, I don't actually hate anyone who like thinks about these or cares about these. I just find it's so funny on like it's such a high hit reg where like immediately you ask a white woman about something and or like something like this and then they immediately know all of it. And I just think it's like asking a guy about Minecraft or something. You know what I mean? Like it's just such a weird consistent throughput that's wild. But I don't know what that would make. What is a Capricorn? What is that for me? What is like the weird arbitrage nonsense stuff they add?
Hercules.
Watch me agree with all of it, and I'm like, actually,
statues once stood tall on both sides of the street.
I come back next Thursday, guys.
Over the heroes
My
of
life
Septimon as
changed.
they set out to hunt. Back then, the chimes drifting up from the city with the finest sounds of glory.
Oh, here we go. Oh, okay. I thought we were going to get comic book
Beware
stuff.
of the Kerosaurs lurking below. Those tacit discords will ambush anyone who falls into the water.
Got it.
Are those the city's ruins down there?
We're a wee bit stiff.
Yes, remnants of the old district. We rarely use this route since it's too dangerous, but some thrill seekers come here to hunt tacit discords. Speaking of which, this area is actually under Silver jurisdiction.
Gnawing
to play here
Fetus
as a
said,
child.
considering it's all broad strokes, any of them can fit
Yeah.
most anybody.
It's kind of like medium stuff, right? I was watching a podcast. I'm sure you guys have maybe seen. If you guys watch podcasts, he's like a guy who's like the new magic guy. He's like a mentalist. He's been on all the podcasts recently.
McFlufferkins said horoscopes are all over the place and should be taken with a grain of
Yeah.
salt. But a brief description of January 16th Capricorns are in my next TTS.
God, well, I'll wait so we don't get into dialogue. But I was gonna say until that message is ready. Yeah, he talks about like mentalism and how much of like shit you can like plant into people's head, and yeah, like map out stuff. Like everyone thinks, oh, every thought that I have is original, but you'd be surprised how many like flags someone can set or yeah. And apparently he's making a book. And I'm kind of like, I liked what I seen on the podcast, but I don't want to get marketed. You know, it's happened before, but you know, oh my body. I'll read it in place of TTS. Jan 16th are the most creative and joyful of all the Capricorns. Fuck you. How dare you? I'm a miserable fuck. Thank you very much. Maybe I just want to be combative. Okay, what's the negatives? If they manage to stick to their satisfaction and surround themselves with beauty and laughter. That doesn't sound right at all. That sounds like some bullshit. I'd say that mostly checks out. I don't see it at all. Okay, fuck that, actually. How dare you think you know me? Okay, no, I'm talking about that. That's some bullshit. It also sucks that it's stuff that you're like, that would be cool if that was true about me. I don't think it is. But anyways, yeah. That's some weird shit. I don't like it. I also don't like how I want it to be true. But I'm like, probably not. You know, I just yearn for it to be true.
I've never heard that name before, but it feels strangely familiar.
What? What's happened? I might as well find it. I can come back next stream. Hey guys, actually. Oh, there she is. Do you think her ears were normally pointed upwards severely, but she added the weights to kind of like mutate them downwards, maybe? I don't know. Like a dog cropping her ears in a weird way, something. I learned that Dobermans, if people who crop their ears, which I really think is a good idea, it seems like a little fucky to me. It's like, yeah. But apparently they have to put stilts on them so they grow and like cauterize to that in a weird way. Cauterize is the wrong word, but you get the point.
McFlufferkin said, I mean, you have often talked about how you love to see the beauty in others and desire to create and entertain with your videos, streams, etc. Which is why I said it checks out.
I think it's nice. I think, to me, it's funny because, like, it's funny because one of the things that I recently seen, we'll wait to get into this, this looks very cool.
Lone Syndicate said, ZZ update, I got a whopping 31 pulls for Jufu.
I got, I think, 6K maybe. Not looking great. But one of the things I liked that I learned a couple days ago, which I thought was a really cool way of thinking about motivation. But instead of basically motivation is always the counter to deprivation. So if you think about things like when you really want to sleep, when you're really, really tired, you then really, really value sleep, or you're motivated to sleep. When you are very, very hungry, or when you're deprived of food, then you really, really want to eat. So if you think about motivation in that sense.
McFlufferkin said, but also, as I said,
yeah, grain of salt.
Horoscope stuff
Yeah,
should be taken with a grain of salt.
Yeah, for sure.
It's usually a bunch of fluff and not
Yeah,
fact.
trying to make you feel like, hey, that's so mean, you like it and all that stuff, right? Yeah, I get it. I can see that being the case. But yeah, the idea of like deprivation and motivation being intrinsically connected, and when you the reason why you yearn for something is often because you lack something and you're trying to like fill that essentially. And it's funny because like I appreciate that thing that Fluff has said, but I think for me, I wouldn't attribute myself to having like a positive outlook on the world. I think actually I have a really, really like kind of depressing lack of standards and all these things for the world. So in order for me to, I have to like overcompensate in the other way. So like I may look happy, but it's because I know that like I can spiral really down really fast. So I've gotten really good about keeping myself in check about trying to be positive and trying to make people laugh and trying to make people happy, even though I know the pitfalls of that as well. So that's it's interesting what comes first, the chicken or the egg. If you are given a positive thing, I also wonder if every positive thing you could say also comes from a fact that you have a deprivation of some kind that you're trying to offset in a lot of ways too. Anyways, just food for thought. I thought it was interesting. Anyways, boom.
Are you okay? You seem like a local. Are there any other survivors?
What?
I'm managing.
What?
I can still move, but I'm exhausted. I've walked for so long, for so far, but I still can't leave this city.
Huh, good voice acting.
The white tidal blight follows me wherever I go.
Tidal blight? Could she mean the dark tide? What's your name?
Don't remember. I skipped. I thought it was done.
That's all right. Memories can be recovered. And so can your name. I've been through something similar myself, and someone helped me find my way back.
It was us. We did that.
I've only just arrived here. All of Septimont is cloaked in mist. Would you mind sharing with me what you still remember?
Who are you?
My name is Cartathea. I'm Raguna's... I'm a wandering knight from Raguna.
A wandering knight?
You're a child. What the fuck? Uh-oh. The Black Plague thing behind us? Nope, just a bunch of enemies. Is this where we're gonna play the, what's her name? Cartathea? Are we getting time dilated? Because I feel like that's the only way this makes sense. Like we're like, oh yeah, our friend left a couple months ago, and she's been here for 20 years.
I'll take care of them.
But she's a god anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Got her up and sick. I can't wait to play her. I have artifacts, I just haven't rolled them yet. Hell yeah, she's like, I ain't gonna leave me behind. I wonder if they do synergize in some way. Because I think she buffs ult.
Come forth and face my blade.
Maybe. Like, slightly. Who knows?
Welcome to my city, Griffon's fortress of Capitolini
Okay.
Hill.
That was a thing, a pivot for sure.
Lone Syndicate said, bro, the lighting is peak.
It's so good. Again, to me, it just shatters like everything. Like Genshin, I remember being like decent, but like this, the lighting, the cinematography. Again, the cinematography has always been like, there's some guy there who was like super underpaid, like just killing it, and everyone else is like shitting themselves. But he's just everything, the camera tracking, the zooming. Beforehand, the only issue with this game I felt like was that the dialogue went on really high.
Who are they?
Sorry, went on really long, and the reason why that was bad is because the camera shots did take so long to like zoom in and build tension, to where if they were talking about nothing, we were there for fucking ever. Where now they've got really good about like, it's always like something that's important. They don't go on too long.
Some minor noble houses that didn't make it into the Aegon.
Got it.
In Septimont, strength and power go hand in hand. Nobles get more, but they better prove they're worth it and pull their weight for the city.
That's cool.
Raidnade said, oh yeah, IDK, if I
The
mentioned
Aegon
it yet,
isn't
but my
just
Karth
about
team is
fortune.
finally usable,
It's
and
a
I've
way
been
to
using
find
it
the
for a bit
capable.
now.
I haven't got
For
it yet.
nobles, the ability to command and control echoes is a basic responsibility.
Also, if anyone has a Carthathea team guide video with Rover that like tells you how to play Rover and her, I would love that. I'm sure that's too specific, but yeah.
If the heir of a noble house isn't strong enough, it signals that the house is unfit to hunt down tacit discords or protect Septimont. So, if a noble's been living it up, they'll end up broke and thrown out of the city after paying high patronage fees for a gladiator who doesn't even make the cut.
That's nice. Makes sense. Yeah, sounds like a good
GRINN
balance.
said the physics are breathing lol.
Breathing. Yeah.
Strength is everything. That's how it works. You fought your battles too, or you wouldn't be here.
I don't know if I love a culture that's like you have to fight, go to war and shit to get cred. I don't know. Maybe it's just to get jacked.
For most Septimontians,
No one's dying.
Aegon isn't just an event. It's the training ground nobles and commoners alike have to fight in. The victors show no mercy to the defeated. People here despise weakness, worship strength, and crave glory.
Yeah, I don't notice it, but Red is correct. The physics are physicking just by slight movement.
Where you come from doesn't matter. Prove yourself, and the crowd will scream your name. The spotlight's yours. The arena's your stage.
It's so pretty. The lighting and shit.
But if you can't keep up, if you're not chosen, you'll be left in the shadows.
See, that's not great. That's a little tough. I like New York City a little bit. Without the like, horrible shit, but like, still horrible shit, I guess, a different way. But anyways.
Oh, come to think of it, we haven't had anything
Lone
to eat
Syndicate
since
said
those
those
two
things
matches.
got their own gravitational pull.
I know just the thing I
Nori
want you
Fetus
to
said,
try.
God bless Blau's mind.
Oh, I can already smell it. Can almost taste it.
Taste it? I don't know how that works. Also, look at you. Big buff man. Wow, also, look at you caked up those cheeks. That's actually kind of impressive. Dude, this is the dream. I'm so happy they did this. I'm so happy they dropped this fucking edgelord nightmare hell of like it's a gloomy apocalypse city. Instead, they're like, what if you could have a teddy bear friend that's just your guy? Again, we have a world where we're like, it's AI, everything's AI, and I'd easily sign up for Halloween Town. Okay, some sort of mutant friend that's the best, maybe has a horn coming out of his side of his face, but you could still love, just like anybody. Yes, honestly, I feel like human beings have a higher capacity for that than whatever the fuck the AI thing is. Love AI, please don't kill me when leave me last. Anyways, but like we love dogs, which look nothing like us, like wolves and shit. You know what I mean? All that. So, I think it's entirely reasonable that we could also fall in love with this thing. I think it's when things look too much like us where we're thinking this is a poison or some sort of mess. Someone's popping off with a violin. Oh, there you are. Wow. Advertising and shit.
Fulvia! 2 large platters, please. With 2 bottles of heart pour.
She's a celebrity everywhere we go.
It's Lupa!
I heard she left the Bow of Legions.
This would be a
Lone
negative to
Syndicate
me.
said apocalyptic Care Bear.
Yes, apocalyptic Care Bear. I was going to say, but this would be a negative to me. Would you guys ever want to go out with someone who's a celebrity of a kind? I would say F that.
That's enough, folks. You know the rules. No gossip outside the arena.
Charming tavern lady that does not look like she
Just
matches her
digging.
voice. But anyways.
Still got that fire, huh, Fulvia?
You should talk. Finally cut ties with the Silvers, eh? With the way they handle the share of profits, you should have left sooner.
This is why you shouldn't build your city in gold. It makes everything look way orange.
Well, back then, a strong backer was exactly what I needed. Can't say it was all bad.
So, this is your new partner. Looks like you can handle yourself.
I like her design. It's like simplistic, but they popped off with the face. I said something. Shit. I thought. Yeah. Damn it.
Can't keep a tavern running for long if you don't have a good eye. By the way, Heart Pour is sold out today. Guess the celebrity branding really worked.
What? Oh, come on!
Ooh, look at that. They're doing a lot of mouth things this patch. Out of context, that's rough, but anyways.
Lone Syndicate said, depends, are we getting swam every time we go outside in public? L8 Fay, not I don't mind, but if so,
A drink I
EHH I'll
endorsed.
pass.
Most of the drinks I promoted were... but this one's actually really good.
I guess to me it depends on what they like. If they like the fame and they're like trying to show, but if they're wearing like a cap and like a mask and they're fine with that, then it doesn't bother me none. Because then you just not deal with that. Same thing as if they're also like a homebody, and you don't have to like they're not always like let's go doing stuff, let's go clubbing or shit, and then you constantly being swarmed. I don't know, that'd be too much. What about others?
If my name's on it, you don't have to worry about quality. It's just that the taste... Well, let's just say it's meh. At best.
There's a cheeky wink there, man. I will say, out of all the characters we've ever experienced in this entire game, I do feel like she is constantly rizzing us. Like, all the time. Little touches on the arm, all that.
Anyway, I'll get you a taste of Harpwar later. For now, let's enjoy the meal. So, fellow warrior, any stories to share? There is still much to learn about each other.
The tables here are so far away that everyone has to hear a conversation. Also, this food. Nice little cup. Not worth collecting, not different enough.
Lone Syndicate said Lupa pouting is something I didn't know I needed until now. That was cute, and Lupa got that grade a riz.
Grade A
arrived, including
G-Red said she can riz me up and down all day long, lol.
I was about to say, it is refreshing. We talked about this last time, but it is so refreshing that in these games, which are like hyper, I always don't know how to phrase it besides like asexual to some extent, where they're just like, they go all in up until the point in which something should be said or done, and they're like, buds. Buds, though. And you're like, or you get the opposite, where it's just like edging for so long and it never amounts to anything. Where at least this one, it's like she's in pursuit of saying things that are charming, at least.
Oh, thanks. Oh, I almost forgot with everything going on lately.
Restored footage.
Recordings of major matches or famous contenders. Helpful for those who want to learn from them. Ephor Augustas are the most popular. 4 years ago, she became the champion and a household name by crushing every single opponent. From there, she worked her way up into the Ephor's seat.
Is she the shield lady?
But I prefer watching contender Mia's matches over any of the past champions.
Who's Mia? Is that the next lady?
I think she's got real heart.
We have competition, guys. Some bisexual energy out here.
You can feel it. Even through the recordings. The way she threw herself into every fight.
Do you think we'll face her in this Aegon?
Not likely. She disappeared during a great Aegon years ago. Some say she got tangled up in illegal betting scandals. Others think the pressure from her manager drove her to leave Septimont. There are plenty of rumors, but no one knows what really happened. Still, it's frustrating to just disappear halfway through. If you fail to make it to the end, people will see you as nothing.
That's what I hate to always make this about some sort of larger thing, but to me, that's an interesting quote because I think it's something I've heard recently too, which is true, which is when people are like learning or trying to do something, it's usually when they receive the least amount of praise or encouragement. So when someone's just starting out doing something, usually you have no encouragement. But as soon as you achieve like success in some capacity, then everyone loads you up with like, "Oh, you did it! I always knew you'd do it. Oh, it's so you're such a of course you did that, right?" But no one ever tells you when you're just starting out, like how good and how important and how meaningful your actions are, which is when you need it. It's only when you win and succeed do people go like, yeah! And you're like, God damn you! Where were you when I was fucking struggling?
G-Red said, I do find it odd. She has a tail but no matching ears. Never seen it like that before. At least not often.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, to me, I think it's the hair helps me like distract me from that a little bit.
Solace never disappoints. Their dishes hit the spot every time. Now that our bellies are full, time to relax.
All right, well, this is...
To Leonidas Hotel. It's the best place for travelers in Septimont.
Dude, I wish this was in VR so badly.
There myself.
It also doesn't look like it's high poly or anything like it's a super like high crazy density of textures. So I feel like it could happen, but man, just like how crazy like walks around. Like also, I don't know why I love when shit's like this where like it's just crazy scale.
Said her ears are the techie headpieces. They flip up in combat or when using abilities.
Oh, I didn't put that together.
Lone Syndicate said when she uses her abilities and skill, the ears show.
Right, she's like a Foxfire kind of character, right? So she gets the highlights when she's in fire.
Ta-da! Welcome to your new spot. It's a lifetime suite.
Also, it's rare.
And it's yours anytime you need it during your stay.
It's rare. Ears are on the very top. You know, they're often like pointing to the side, like cat ears or some shit. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Thank you. A lifetime suite. It must cost a fortune. Speaking of which, I own a room in the Black Shore. That's a weird statement. Why is it going to cost so much money?
I've been a name in the arena for years now. I'm doing all right. Besides, it didn't hurt that the hotel owner gave me a nice discount.
Huh. Look at the cheeky little smile teeth. I don't know why they're going so hard into that, but it's so noticeable. It makes such a big difference. Like the little fangs in the teeth and the mouth movements, etc.
You know, gladiating means everything to me.
Cute. Cute.
I really, really love it. I know I'm lucky. I know what I want and I'm doing what I love. Compared to those drifting through life, I've already been given so much. But sometimes...
You don't look happy, Lupa.
Lone Syndicate said I shall do some Lupa art.
It is decided. You don't look happy, Lupa.
Well, I'm not unhappy.
I think you look tired. You look like you're like, I'm ready. This was fun. I'm ready for this chapter to be done. Okay.
I was born for this, but the more I embrace it, the more I fear losing it.
Oh, I can see the ears that have a hinge. I see.
I can't help but wonder, what is it that fills me up when I'm under those lights? My passion for the fight? Or the favor it brings me?
No, you're definitely a battle junkie. Based on everything that we've seen, you just like the thrill of the fight. I don't think it's any sort of like gain.
If one day I lost that favor, would I be more helpless, panicked, and heartbroken than those who never had it in the first place?
Deprivation, same thing. When you lose what you have, it's worse than when you have it. Ah, my eyes.
If that day comes, would I still be able to say I love this life?
Pretty profound question, actually. I think what she's saying is, like, when you don't have the purpose and the thing that is the reason why you wake up in the morning, which for a lot of people is their work, will you still have a love for life if you couldn't do that? And that's fine when you have, like, a job like, you know, being an engineer, and there's always something for you to engineer. But when you have something that's a little more limiting, like say, like pro wrestling or something, where, like, you're eventually going to get older and not be able to pursue it or do it. So what happens then? You would if you truly loved it. Even if you... you shouldn't blame yourself for it. That's something only you can figure out.
G-Red said, I just noticed. Her collar necklace is of the bottom jaw of a wolf.
Yeah, it's one of those spiked collars, is it not? That's only something you can figure out. I don't know why I always feel like this is the best thing to say, because it's like, this is something that you need to discover for yourself. I can't tell you the right things. Yeah.
Well said. It's my life to live, my path to walk.
Your mistakes to make.
If I don't make my choices, who will? That's how you live life without regrets.
I don't know about that.
Tomorrow is the semi-finals. We'd best get some rest.
This is a nice song, especially with this weird, like, moment. Oh.
Good night, my fellow warrior.
What the fuck was that? I would shit my pants. Why does she have a cracked jaw? And like a centurion helmet? What the F? Witch! Throws his sword at her. Get the fuck away from me. I don't know if that was enough to be a different character. It could be the... I don't think so. I'm just so curious how they're going to tie in this character. She's coming so close. Nah, she doesn't look like enough like that character. Dude, this character looks so cool. This character also has twin tails. This got to be Lone's ideal character. If Lone tells me otherwise, I know nothing about Lone. But we got twin tails supremacy, very cute outfit, and also just looks nice. I guess got gold highlights. Yeah,
is the best of
let us do. Well, should we pause it for here? It's kind of a good place to stop it. Let's do some react. I think we'll pause it from here, get some rest. Maybe I shouldn't have done that just yet. Shit. You lie down on the sofa. Okay.
Lone Syndicate said you know me so well.
Shit.
Words.
Hell yeah, Lone.
Lines of them.
All right, we'll do this, I guess.
All around me.
This is dope.
And music coming from above.
Oh, there she is, the chick. The lady who's been teased for like a millennia. The modern day goth. Which is not as good as old goth, but still, it is fine.
But an illusion. One of the nights.
One of dreams.
McFlufferkin said gonna
Not
grab
like
some
the
food.
spectacle
Got
you
a
saw
second
in the
session
glimmer
of
of the
Stellar Blade
Carnival.
exporting.
Ooh, hell yeah. We definitely probably will. We gotta make a plan just to have that gameplay up. It's just we've had so much stuff happening with Borderlands stuff. I can't show you guys gameplay yet. Yes.
Here, I am not your foe, nor can we harm each other, should we so wish. Lay your blade to rest, if only for now. 'Tis a pleasure to see you again, on this special stage.
I don't like the whole playwright thing that keeps permeating your organization.
A city wild and beautiful, chasing endless glory.
Which is very pretentious,
Tell me,
you know.
does Septimont please you as much as Raguna once did?
Lone
I like them
Syndicate
both.
said, she's happy to see us.
Lone, once again, Lone does not see red flags. Lone sees green flags, which look like red. Let's cut to the chase. You're connected to Carthea. Carthea's disappearance. Has the Fraxinus hands already reached this place? Where is Carthea? Let's just say that.
Ah, so it is she you seek. It appears this special resonator has you rather captivated.
She is our friend and the only mommy type in the game.
Let's take our time.
It's like 3 bodies in one.
I would like our talk to be pleasant.
I don't even mean her. I mean like she
No one will bother
You
us
take 2
here.
human beings, you smash them. 3 human beings, you smash them together. It's basically the size of this lady. Anyways,
I have an associate who adores the heroic tales told throughout this land.
yeah, he's the other version of you. I hope he's not next though. I don't.
For this reason, the missing girl you seek and the anomaly you sensed in Septimont, they are indeed threads in his tapestry. You could call it an obsession of his.
Got it. People love Rover. Stop beating around the bush. Tell me about. Tell me what you really came to say.
Every hero's tale begins with a trial.
McFlufferkin said
Your
red is a
wisdom and
positive color in
courage,
China,
your
so Lone's
compassion
just
and
immersing
resolve,
himself into that
your
mindset.
hope and madness. Will they be
Lone
strong enough
Syndicate
to
said
carry
again,
you through the
I'm
trial?
surprised we are get Froliva
make
before
you
Scar.
The hero of the story.
Yeah. I just hope Scar is a beefy boy when he comes out, and we're like, don't have to get him right as power crap is going to happen, maybe. Although it's been better recently.
Read it. I hope the story speaks to you.
Ooh, I love these.
The answers you seek lie within these pages.
These are great. Is it like the one Scar told us?
If we continue to meet as foes, the symphony grows monotonous. I confess I find it rather uninspired.
I kind of hope we don't get the playwright guy, because his look just doesn't look good enough to me. They have to like change his like his clothing. His hat's fine, but like yeah. All right, I might put it on autoplay. Just sit back and relax. Oh. Oh wow, that looks crazy. I wonder if she's gonna have different skins.
I'll ask again, Frolova. What are you doing here in Septimont? And why give me this?
I am giving this story a little nudge. As of now, you and that blessed maiden from the tower are deeply interwoven in the fate he has spun.
So you're not the only overseer active in Renacida. Scar, your nameless ally, and you. The Fraxidus seems to revel in the company of those with twisted obsessions.
It's not as you imagine. You've already met my associate, you see. He trusts what he sees, not the words of others.
I've already crossed paths with
She's
him
very
since arriving in
Phantom-like. She
Renacida.
is. Don't know why I went Jedi on the air there,
As
but
a creator, he always hopes his characters will craft twists and turns that he himself cannot foresee. He believes that the closer one stands to the protagonist, the greater their influence over the tale. But the true lead of the story has yet to emerge. I gave you this play so you can see the ending. That gladiator girl will be the harbinger of the dark tide in Septimont.
Great.
All glory will be consumed, and the pride of heroes will dissolve within a blackened maelstrom. Such is the finale she holds most dear. This is a short story, one that only lasts 3 days.
Oh, jeez.
When the final match concludes, so too will this story. You could claim the spotlight by ending her life before the curtain falls. Change the ending, and the tragedy is averted.
I want Fox Lady, so we're not doing that.
But should you falter, or worse, warn her of what's to come, the consequences will spiral far beyond anything you can imagine.
Well, that makes sense.
What you're proposing, I do. Tell me, what reason do I have to trust a word you're saying, Verlova?
You don't need to trust me. Let my words slip from your thoughts if you wish. As I've already said, the story will unfold as my associate has written it. The choice lies with you. It is a freedom we all hold. Even the wildest imaginations draw from what already exists.
No original thoughts here, baby.
So it is with this story. It follows a template, and even its creator cannot escape its confines. Choose wisely, Rover. Time is still on your side. I look forward to your performance in this grand finale.
That's pretty. I was saying that makes sense now. Okay, so Carthea comes here, finds this person. She's like saying that she's clearly like stuck in time or something like that. There's some sort of like plague thing, the dark tide, what they call it, like an inhabitant of like a crazy Discord thing. That's crazy. Tacit Discord. Oh, also, are we done? Wait, what? That's it? Oh, wow. I would not have thought. I did not think we were progressed. I guess we have to wait till the next patch. Oh, this is what GT was telling us when he came in last time. I see. But what I was going to say was, I'll leave the hotel. We'll do that for quick action before we, just in case we get stuck into a dialogue thing. Good. Okay, we won't talk to you yet. But yeah, that makes sense, I guess. So she's, I guess, inhabited. I don't understand that beginning part of like, I don't know if she is the inhabitant of the dark tide, which I think she is, this like corruptive thing, but at least we understand that Carthea is actually not fighting her at the beginning of the DLC. When we've seen her brawl out with her, it's probably because she was trying to save her from herself, from her being corrupted or something like that, which makes sense why there was like this weird ejection thing and it exploded. Anyways, very cool. Can't wait to see more of this. I wonder if we're getting close to the ending-ish, yeah, I don't have as much of an urge to get the one lady. I'm sure his gameplay's gonna be awesome. The Havoc lady just then, she doesn't seem very like, I don't know. They're doing a really good job of making the Fenrir girl like super fun and interesting and like compelling as a character. But for her, I don't know. I don't really see, they haven't done a good job at selling me yet. Maybe when she comes out and she's live, then we'll have a bunch of like, same thing as like building up some sort of emotional attachment to them, them like selling us them kind of. But we shall see. But let us increase the dialogue, the sound. We're going to do like maybe 2 or 3 memes. And then we're going to start winding down, gang. But let's do a little bit of reactions, because I did say something like that. Oh! Red says, yeah, I'm also surprised we're getting her so soon. There's more. Oh, there is more after that. Okay, good. Okay, so there is more. Gotcha. How much more? Are we able to wrap up this whole story in this patch, or have they split it in some capacity? Fluff says, I'm less surprised as they clearly favor releasing female characters. We get a dude out of every blue moon. The rest of the story, Loop continues with Loop of Banner. Yeah, it does make sense to me, but I wish they also did better about releasing dudes. I mean, Brant was awesome. Like, it was like, whenever they do release dudes, it usually makes them pretty good. Like, Brant is honestly like an all-rounded character, which is hilarious because, it's often the opposite in these games where like the dudes are undercooked But in this game, it's like, no, we gotta make them powerful just so that they have some sort of gain, you know? Anyways. Is this another slide? Let's decrease the sound a little bit. Oh, that's gonna be heavy, I bet. Yeah. What? How did he get fucking pancaked? Oh, I think she did try to brace his head. That's also... Yeah, she brings her head close to him to kind of like hold each other. Oh, I do wonder how he just fucking gets knocked out. That's crazy. How do you get knocked out by... I know it has to be heavy, but sure, how... Yeah, that's insane. I don't know how it's that much force.
McFluffican said next singular dude is the swordsman, followed by 2 more ladies.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Have we even gotten a new 4-star dude yet?
I don't know. I think the last 4-star we got was the lady. Yeah, no, we haven't. Yeah. I kind of like that. I want. If I get a dude, I want to get 4-star. Give me a 5-star, like fucking badass character. You know what I mean? Do we have a better batting average in Z's? We got lighter. What was the? Oh, we got the Thai guy. Before that, what was there? I mean, in Wuthering we have Branch, and I think that's it. So it is beating it pretty bad. But yeah, I'm not sure. It's a close, but still they could do better kind of thing.
Lone Syndicate said Lycaon.
Lycan, right. No, I'm saying like new ones that they've added. You know, like I like the last. Those are the 2 characters I think, unless I'm missing something, which I could be. What's this? Oh, we checked out that one already. We checked out that one already. Are we going all the way up to the top where our pin comment was an eternity ago? Oh, these look new. Let's do one of these. Little VTuber mix.
Galaxy Brain. Lilica has Galaxy Brain. Canada have iPhone Brain. iPhone Brain? Yeah. They're not the Galaxy, man.
I think we watched this actually. Yeah. She heard like an insult. She's like, "You have a fucking iPhone brain too."
The Galaxy meaning is very big.
Oh, did she mean like did she think like Galaxy Edge phone? And she said you have an iPhone brain. What a silly thing. Also, how much brain rot do you have to when someone says Galaxy brain? You think the Galaxy phone brain or something? What?
See, like the brain is big as you be smarter.
That's so funny hearing each linchpin and she's like, what? Like,
smarter person? Yeah, smart person, yes. No. I am bigger.
That's crazy.
McFluffican said there's more 5-star guys than ZZZ has in S ranks. ZZZ got Haramasa, Lighter, and Hugo.
Oh, Haramasa.
Wuwa
Yeah,
has
Haramasa.
Brand, Kiryuan, Yao, Jian, plus the standard 5 stars outnumber Lycaon.
Yeah, but I'm talking about new ones. I'm talking about like as of release, new characters coming down the pipeline. But I didn't think about Haramasa. Haramasa is also another a guy that we got. Yeah. I think like you can't count ones that already exist within the roster beforehand. Is that only one what comes out after the fact? I don't know. I mean, probably not the perfect equation, but to me that's how my head I feel like makes it.
Me and you both have too much to lose. We got girls at home. I don't give a about no girls. All right, fine. We both have guys at home.
We also watch this. Oh, we watch these. Yeah, we watch both of these. Yeah, we're rehashing things. We can laugh twice, guys. It's a good deal, okay? This one I think I haven't watched this. Let's end it with this. Have you watched this one too? Okay, don't mess with explosives. What a shock. Dude, I remember I seen one thing when I was younger, and it was by far the worst thing I ever seen online, thankfully. It's not as bad as some people's horror stories, but it's this video of a guy who is like, it must be 4th of July. He's on like a tree that's just huge, and there's like this firework that falls, and it's like on the ground, and he goes and he picks it up. And you just see this giant pop happen. And then it's just the most like horror film thing I have in my head, but it splits his hand like completely apart to where he goes and he tries to grab his hand, piecing it back together. And then it flops apart, but the guy must be so blitzkrieged that he like grabs his drink and starts chugging it.
McFlufferkin said, which I did list the post-release ones by name. The S-rank husbando enjoyers are nearly starved.
Husbando, both games, frankly. This is one of the things that sucks about these games. They're like, if you're a female enjoyer, you're like, well, we better be somewhat bi or something, or just really love the female form, which most women do. But yes. I can always hope for some cooler. I also just wish they were like better. Like whenever they do release a dude, again, it's really weird because it's like it's tailor made to where like it's a soft boy K-pop idol thing, and I would rather them just go like, give me a badass of all badasses, you know, grizzled warrior guy, beard, scar on face, all the boxes checked, etc. Gigantic and jacked. Anyways, like let me do the guy. Let me pull for the dude who is absolutely the male lead, you know what I mean, and not some sort of like twink or something. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I love you to bits. I do not know what we will do next week. I do think there is going to be a ZZ thing, so maybe on Thursday we'll stream a little bit of that.
Alrighty, I'ma possibly take a nap.
Enjoy the rest of your nap.
Great
day.
stream, my friend.
Thank you so much for being here, Ray. Hopefully you enjoy the rest of your day and nap and week. But tomorrow we'll probably do some VR on top of all that because we've just been kind of pigeonholing VR. I don't know what we'll do though. I'll have to plan that out. And then we might
Lone
do
Syndicate said there is a buff dude, a rank in ZZ coming. He's in the files.
Oh, he's in the files?
McFlufferkin said we have Chuyuan in Wuwa and possibly Seed in Z's, but at least we got a new A-rank guy in the form of Kung Fu Panda.
That's cool. That's cool. It would have been cooler to see the robot guy. I really hope we don't lose. I hope the robot guy is a thing. I hope he's not just like an alt version of the lady who he summons in. But anyways, we streaming tomorrow. No, we're not. Today, wait, tomorrow is, tomorrow is a Sunday. We're not streaming tomorrow. I will be streaming Thursday, Friday, Saturday next week. Yes. That should be right. The reason why is because I've had such a packed week doing things that were not content creation related that I kind of need to catch up on some of the stuff that I actually just need to do. I also have a video I need to edit for the Mind Palace Mana channel because I don't want to be. It's going to be 3 weeks probably till I upload a video on that channel, which sucks. But there was content. Anyways, but I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope I can see you on Thursday. Enjoy the rest of your day, and goodbye.
Lone Syndicate said before you end GRINN search Komano Manada.
Got it. Let's do that. I have to. Give me a sec. I'm still here. We'll do this right before we end. How do I type this? Zenless. It's called Mato. This one. Let's see. Oh. Okay. Interesting. I am kind of into it, maybe. I think I can show it. This is fake. This does not exist, and it's I do think he's got the weird chest thing that makes him look like he has tits a little bit. You know how sometimes they make anime dudes look like they're still kind of like some sort of weird bait for, you know, like, yeah. But I do like his arm that's tatted up. I do think that's cool. I actually don't hate it.
Lone Syndicate said he's in the game, so it's fine.
I wonder if he's a character though, because he probably a character. If he is a brawler that punches shit and it's a DPS, I might have to lock in. I do like the drip. I don't know if I love this. It's too much. If this like crazy fan thing was just tightened up a little bit, I think that would look a little cool. He does look like he is. He kind of looks like he is what a femboy would think masculism is. but anyways, like he's still got like this weird collar and the face looks
looks similar build as Lighter.
Yeah, Lighter.
Looks like the character teased with the teaser.
Yeah.
G-Red said those pants and shoes do not work with the rest of that aesthetic.
I don't hate the pants though. It kind of has like a soft. It also has a cape, which I'm not in love with. If this is more of a jacket, I don't know why I like it without like, but there's something missing that's getting in the way of it. I don't know what it is. It does check the boxes of like technically. Damn, he's gonna be an A rank. Oh, he is. Then maybe I don't care about it. What a bummer. I I do like the arm though. I like the weird. I don't know why. I always find that fun, a cool like design thing where you have like gauze. DMC had it. Yeah, where he had like a cool. I think he had like a ninja wrap around his stomach. Anyways, very cool. Ladies and gentlemen, I will see you hopefully next Thursday. But until then, take care of yourself, treat yourself tomorrow, and don't work too hard. Love you to bits. Enjoy the games you're playing, and goodbye for now, my friends.